Troy Athens Redhawks have always been known for their defense, and this year is no exception. Their offense, however, is struggling to put points on the board. But Athens has been up to the task, winning their first 2 games of the season. On the other side, the Rochester Falcons last year were rebuilding after losing their starting quarterback and head coach. This year, even with some experience, the Falcons have struggled to score. Rochester must control the ball as they face a tough schedule ahead. Tonight, it's the Athens Redhawks taking on the Rochester Falcons on the TCI Game of the Week. The TCI Sports High School Football Game of the Week. Tonight from Rochester High School, it's the Troy Athens Redhawks taking on the Rochester Falcons. Hello again, everyone. This is Dave Zorin here along with Joe Abramson. Joe, tonight, 2 teams that have been struggling offensively. They've gotten close to the end zone, but not quite in.
Yeah, and with different results. Last week, Athens only scored 7 points, but they beat Southfield 7-6, a good result. Rochester, on the other hand, only scores 7 and loses to Waterford Mott 21-7. Problem there, though, they got inside the 20, the red zone, 4 times, only converted once. If they can convert inside the 20, they're going to win games. Okay, one of the key players you should look for on Athens' side of the ball is Graves, the quarterback. He runs the option real well. Yeah, J.D. Graves, an excellent decision maker. All-league as a sophomore last year, and also as a sophomore, the first Athens quarterback ever to pass for over 1,000 yards. Also their kicker, great athlete. Look for him to do a lot of running, a little bit of passing, but he is what the offense is built around. On the other side of the ball, Rochester boasts a big man, Craig Sippa. He was a tight end last year and now has moved to the line. Yeah, tremendous athlete, one of many big men on the team, and that's probably a key for them to wear people down. Sippa, 6'5", 225, maybe 230 pounds, playing tackle now, going to open up some holes, and on defense, he's one of the defensive ends. If they're going to take that option around outside, Sippa's going to have to be the guy to stop it. Okay, there you have the setup of tonight's contest. We'll be back with the kickoff right after these messages. Stay with us.
I wrote a letter to TCI because of the kind service and the kindness that was given to me when we needed service. I'm a district manager for Family Dollar stores here in Detroit and Pontiac. And being a district manager over 16 stores, it's important for us to maintain good customer service day in and day out. If you don't give good service to customers, you don't maintain good service, you don't maintain a good company. And TCI, in my book, has certainly represented customer service to the nth degree.
To Rochester High School, Dave Zorin along with Joe Abramson here for the kickoff of tonight's contest. And the Rochester Falcons will kick off to the Troy Athens Redhawks. And to kick off for Rochester, Paul Dressler, who, Joe, he's had a great leg for the Falcons last year especially. Yeah, last year he kicked a 47 and a 49-yard field goal. Went to a kicking camp this summer, and they messed him up a little. He's been in a slump. He decided to forget what that camp taught him. He's going back to his old methods. He'll probably have a much better game now. You saw John Uren back for Athens, number 7. He was one of the deep men, or rather, he was at the 20. He's one of the up men. The up man, actually. The up man. It's a strange formation. Yeah, and 3 men deep for Athens. Back there in the middle, Ed Ferns. And we are about to get this one underway. Dressler boots a low line drive. It goes inside the 10-yard line and taken by Fournier. Matt Fournier brings it up across to the 23-yard line, and that's where the Redhawks will start. A good return by Fournier, gets it over the 20, so it's wise not to let it go in the end zone. And we'll have to look for last year's records rather. Athens 1-4, as was Rochester in the new OAA, the Division I level, both of them, and basically the same thing they had. Athens 2-0 overall, Rochester 1-1. This is the first conference game for either team.
and an important one for both of them if they want to be able to compete with Troy later on in the year as far as either winning the league or at least coming in the top half of it.
J.D. Graves, the quarterback, takes it on the option himself, cuts upfield, and gains maybe a yard or two. Let's see. And he does. Graves, a key part of this offense, and we talked about him in the open. And starting as a sophomore last year, gained a lot of respect by everybody.
Yeah, as we mentioned in the open, all league and over 1,000 yards, the only Athens quarterback ever to do it.
There you see the officials, Bonacci, Valier, Lambert, excuse me.
I'm so used to Valier, or something?
Yeah, Meekins and Stark. Those are your officials. After I said Lavelle.
I know you're excited about hockey coming back, but you
just had to do the Lambert thing. This was a dive right up right behind the tackle. And number 43, Joe Guitar on the carry. And it'll be third and short yardage coming up for Athens.
And third and about 4. They were able to stop Joe Guitar. That's something that Rochester wants to do. Take the fullback out of the game except for the couple of yards he might get and force the quarterback to take it farther and farther outside on the option, make him hold the ball as long as possible, and then force a pitch to a very short sideline.
J.D. Graves, the quarterback, calls the signals in motion. Claycomb goes back the other way and back to pass. Graves. And
it's overthrown.
Way overthrown. Yeah. Not even attempted by Ferns to go up after it.
The one thing I noticed there, Athens they don't use a traditional tight end, and when they have a tight end, he tends to go in motion, and it leaves no one for Sipa, number 77 on the left side, to go up against, so he's playing a stand-up end. Gets him a little quicker off the line, and that 6'5" might have been in his face just a little bit there.
And Sipa didn't even throw his arms up, so you can see how much height he has around the end, and if you're throwing in that direction, you have to get it over him. That time a little too far, and that forces Athens to punt. 43, Joe Guitar to do the punting. And back to receive for the Falcons, 2 men deep. And it goes in the direction of number 83, McCann. McCann is dropped at about the 45-yard line, and that's where he's marked for forward progress.
Good coverage by the Athens special teams, but the Falcons do have great field position right at the 45.
McCann having a little camouflage in his helmet there. That time, a little grass coming up there. Just started here in the first quarter. 10 minutes left in the first quarter. There's Mark Miller, head coach of the Rochester Falcons, taking over for Mike Van Dam.
Gotta like those coaches with the hat on backwards, like Joe Bugle did with the Jets.
And getting down and dirty with the guys.
Yeah.
McCann is in motion. Handoff goes to the first man through, and not much there. So both teams trying to get the offensive running going early. Well, that was not much there.
That was their fullback, Jeff Hurst. Not usually a starter. One of the backup fullbacks getting the start tonight. We'll probably end up flip-flopping a little bit of time later in the game with Jason Tinscher. I think they're trying to establish a little bit of momentum for Hurst anyway, get him a little confidence.
Hurst, number 15 in there, and Tinscher, you'll see him later, number 38.
And their tailback, number 28, Mike Collins, who had also been back on that punt with McCann, they say is the fastest guy on the team, a tremendous track athlete as well.
And a sophomore at that. In motion, McCann again. And they go to the sophomore. Off tackle, has some room, and close to a first down. He'll be about a yard short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Yeah, and not just close to a first down. If Steve Molessa doesn't grab his foot and drag him, it might be a touchdown.
So you see the speed of Collins here, Joe.
Yeah, just take a look. Takes the run off left tackle. One guy almost has him, and right there, see his foot being grabbed, and with that kind of speed, there was no one else with any size there to contain him, and if he can take it outside, he should be able to win a foot race.
And even in slow motion, he looked pretty fast, too. So let's see if they go with him again with the fullback blocking. 3rd and 1, or the QB sneak here. Watch for that. No, they go to Collins again, picks up the first down and more, out to about the 42-yard line. And they are definitely now on their way into Athens territory.
Oh, they're following huge linemen into that hole. Look at the size of that Rochester team. You've got 6 foot 220 Rich Arch, 6'6", 265 Casey Hamplot. That's who he's following in there. Look at that band, too. Biggest band I've ever seen.
Speaking of and that fills the stands, too, doesn't it?
Yeah, big line, big band. Everything here is big. And lest we forget, on the other side, you got Sipa, 6'5", 230. Now we've got a timeout from Rochester. Zippa looks little out there compared to those other guys.
He sure does. That's some big size. We thought Zippa was one of their biggest guys, and then Coach Mark Merlo was telling us about some of the other guys he had on the team.
Zippa's
300
got
guys.
the height at 6'5". He's not as big at 230, but as you see the Division I standings, and it's Troy at the top like everyone expected. Athens, though, also there. And we'll take a look now at the overall TCI conference, which is that's the biggest thing there is. This is the mega conference.
Things will start to develop as the year goes on here. These are all the teams that we will feature on the TCI Game of the Week, and they're the standings of those teams.
That's big.
So watch for that. That's real big. That's bigger than the line and what you were talking about, the band.
Everything, yeah.
That's even bigger than it. So watch for that. 1st and 10 now for the Falcons. One man in the backfield. They have 3 receivers, and in motion goes Mitchell. Scrambling and finally brought down by number 34, Forge.
Well, yeah, Ford got around there, and it's funny, Zippa took him, and I think pretty much contained him there. And as your quarterback rolls out, after a while, you can't sustain your block forever. You let the guy off, and Ford just tremendous job of keeping his balance, and just kept trying and just kept going, and eventually caught up. Made the tackle on Dana Murphy. Dana Murphy, a senior, did start 3 games last year as a junior.
So Dana Murphy now has his team going. It's a 2nd and about 8 or 9 here. Murphy, pass almost intercepted as it was knocked down in the defensive backfield. And trying to get the number down there.
I think it was Chad Miller knocking the ball down. They were looking for Jason
20.
Nucha right over the middle, and if the pass is there, Nucha's got a little bit of ground, but it's not there because Chad Miller is able to make the knockdown. Good defensive play. Brings up 3rd down from about 8.
3rd and long now for the Falcons. Again, 3 receivers. And hit just as he was letting go of the ball, and hit hard. Looked like number 54 getting in there, Molessa, Steve Molessa. And also
Ford, I think, helped him out.
Ford got in there. Let's take a look at who gets in there.
And that's just good penetration. That's 34 Ford.
Yep, Ford got in there initially.
That's his 2nd tackle already on the quarterback. That one a sack, which brings up a punting situation. They actually not a sack. They called an incomplete pass, but obviously he forced the incompletion.
So both teams on their first drive really couldn't get anything going. Back to receive, and that is the up man again. That is not the deep man. And that was 43, Joe Guitar.
Ed Grunchy on the punt.
And at about the 12-yard line, that is where the Athens Redhawks will start.
That's a pretty good punt when you think about it. You can down him down at the 11, and Athens not using their usual kicker and punter, Eric McCula. Usually it's starting tight end, usually their kickoff guy, their punter, their holder on place kicks, out injured, and they've kind of struggled finding the new punter. J.D. Graves does the kicking now, the extra points and such, and he has been anyway. But they've got to find a new kickoff guy and a new punter.
So here come the Redhawks again, this time deeper in their own territory, and starting there. Ball at about the 12-yard line. Not much there. As both teams still trying to grind it out on that first down, not getting much yardage. That time, one of the bigger games, really. Gain of about 2 or 3.
If you read all the papers that previewed this game, if you talk to people who've seen these teams, everyone's saying it's going to be a low-scoring game without a doubt. And the coaches kind of weren't sure about that. And, they don't want to say that. But it is the defenses are definitely winning the battle right now. And as we said in the open, each team only scored 7 points last week. And it doesn't matter how many first downs and how many yards you gain, you got to get the ball in the end zone.
Mishka on that carry picked up about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7 coming up. Off tackle, diving forward, and that time it was Guitar on the carry.
Joe Guitar picked up by
and it's going to be 3rd and short yardage. So Athens grinding it out and getting close to that first down.
And Guitar is going to, again, he's probably a key. If Rochester wants to limit him, then he's got to gain some yards and make Rochester respect him a little more, and that'll open up the option. Michigan last week, we should mention, had about 117 yards in their victory over Southfield. So you combine him and J.D. Graves, who's an excellent athlete and a great decision maker. There's a lot of weapons there. You just have to get the offense clicking.
A must situation right now for Athens. 3rd and short. They go to the left side. No, right up the middle, and picking up the first down is Mishka. Walter Mishka on the carry.
Well, Mishka showed good patience and good vision. The hole wasn't there right away, and he kind of sidestepped it right here. Was able to slither through and then keep his legs moving and get about 3 yards when he only needed 1.
Yeah, I don't think the play was designed to go there, but Mishka saw a little bit of daylight, took it, and picked up the first down. Ball at about the 24-yard line, 1st and 10. Now for Athens. I formation. And 3 receivers now split out. In motion goes Claycomb. Graves back to pass, has his man open, and through the hands of number 35, Ed Ferns.
That's his main receiver. And that one was overthrown. That's something we saw in their opening drive.
Ferns, a senior, 6'3", 185. Big guy out there, big target to throw to, and that time right through the hands of Ferns. 2nd and 10 now. And it's good to see Athens mixing it up and throwing on a first down.
Yeah, and they haven't run a whole lot of the actual option yet. I'd like to see a little bringing it outside, maybe bring it towards us here with the long sideline.
Let's see what they do. In motion again, Claycomb. You'll see him do that. Fake. Nope. They go with it right up the middle. And I was looking for that option too again, Joe, but it didn't happen. They went right up the middle again.
Yeah, they continue to carry it out, and you can assume that they're, of course, early on, 0-0 first quarter, you're feeling each other out. A lot of this first quarter stuff, especially when you're running an option, is a setup to establish some other plays, make the defense create their own tendencies on reading plays, and then try to change it up on them later.
3rd and about 6 coming up. A long 6. 4 minutes, coming up on 4 minutes left here in the first quarter. No score at Rochester High School.
Neutral density.
Back to pass. Graves, he's got a man open out here, but good coverage by number 22, Rob Morgan. All they had to do was just lead him a little bit, and he would have had it.
Yeah, watch Claycomb coming in motion, right? You just saw him come by your screen, and it's almost the same as a running back coming out, and he lofts it up there, and the ball's just not there. It's a little underthrown, but to his credit, Morgan had tremendous coverage. He never let Claycomb get too far behind him.
No, he didn't. He saw his man out there. Now 4th down and a punting down again for Athens. So 2 possessions, 2 punts now for the Red Hawks.
You probably want to keep this out of Collins' hands, the fast sophomore, but, well.
Guitar's punt goes all the way inside the 20, and downing it right there is Collins.
Kind of did keep it out of his hands in a way. It got in and out, and actually a pretty smart move for a sophomore to fall on that. There's no blocking. By the time this thing gets back there, if he picks this up and tries to run, he's pretty much got to be Barry Sanders to avoid getting killed. Better just make sure your team gets possession and let the offense get things going.
Yep. And he knows he won't get crushed down there either. Next week, don't forget to tune in. We travel to Auburn Hills, and the Avondale Yellow Jackets take on Centerline and
nice
the Panthers.
Logo.
Yeah.
Very nice logo. It's like the Carolina Panthers sort of.
Yeah. There's Collins on the carry, gain of maybe a yard on that one.
It looked like there might have been a face mask there, but no flag. Of course, there's always a face mask going on in there, and that's just inevitable. You see Collins here just doesn't get the. Well, I guess not. No, he just got his shoulder. That's why the refs are down there getting paid.
Collared him. The sideline for Rochester, Mark Merlo getting down there with his offensive or defense coordinator rather.
And inside your own 20, you're a little hesitant to try to put the ball up in the air, but this might be a good opportunity.
Hand off to the first man, and nothing there again as they stack it up.
And this time it is Jason Tincher.
Yep, Tincher is in there.
Didn't get the start, but will get a lot of playing time. That guy had 105 yards rushing last week, and I know that he's one of the people that John Walker is very concerned about stopping.
As Walker looks on, he had mentioned a few people that he was concerned about.
Fullback was the first guy.
That was the first guy I mentioned, number 38, Tincher. He also mentioned 83, one of their receivers out there.
Yeah, that's McCann.
McCann.
Oh.
See the motion, ball's loose. Collins got it back. No.
Ford recovers it.
Ford got it.
He's all over the field already. This guy.
And a big break for the Red Hawks. Let's take a look, Joe.
Create your own opportunity. There's the option, and I think
he hit it with his hand.
It got nicked, and we can't tell who that was, but it's Ford with the recovery.
Collins looked like he had position, but he didn't get it. He wound up empty-handed, and Ford, we've been calling his name all night, comes up with a big play, the biggest one of the game so far, and a big one for Athens now as the ball is on the 12-yard line.
And it was either Melissa or Toko who made the knock play, and that was really the key to creating the fumble.
Yep. Graves back to pass, has his man open, and a touchdown.
Oh, that's fast. Quick touchdown.
And a quick touchdown to his favorite receiver, Ferns. This time, Ferns made sure he had it. So one play covered 12 or 13 yards, and they get the touchdown.
Well, I believe that's the same connection that scored their only touchdown last week, which came in the second quarter against Southfield, made it a 7-0 game, and they held on to win 7-6. Ferns, without a doubt, his favorite guy, and he got separation from the defensive back. You think that close to the goal line, you'd cover the guys a little tighter than that.
So 13 yards on the pass play.
And again, a new holder for Athens. And Guitar.
Let's see if that makes a difference. Guitar gets it down, it's up, and it is no good.
J.D. Graves missed it.
Off to the side. Off to the right is where it went, and he got a lot of leg into it.
Yeah, I said he nailed the ball, just didn't go through the uprights. But still, it's a 6-0 lead. And that's the kind of score you just can't afford to give up there. You see J.D. Graves just threw the touchdown pass. You just know that Mark Merlot's not happy with that. If you haven't been scoring a lot of points, you can't be just giving free touchdowns to the opponent. Their first week, they did win 17-9 over Fraser. That was a factor of having more players with size than Fraser did, being able to alternate them and having more team speed, which Fraser never has. They're more of a beat you up 3 yards and a cloud of dust type of team. Here, you still got to establish your offense and get some points on the board. You don't want to make too much of a late first quarter possession, but it is pretty big in that you can't afford to turn the ball over here.
Graves, kind of like Danny White and the Cowboys, the quarterback, and now kicking.
Tom Tupa with the Browns.
Yeah.
Although he doesn't start.
Danny White used to do the punting for the Cowboys, and now Graves in there to kick. Good high kick. Ball taken at about the 5-yard line by McCann. McCann up the middle, makes a cut. Almost broke it outside and finally brought down at about the 23.
Yeah, and before, the moms or the dads, grandfathers that are old-time football fans that are probably laughing at us over the obvious miss in terms of analogies we made. They see McCann on the return, George Blanda, the greatest kicker quarterback ever. So
you're right.
Someone's sitting there going, hey, they forgot Blanda.
Yeah. I don't think, in fact, some of the younger people watching now would even remember Danny White, for that matter.
That's true, too.
1st and 10 for the Falcons, and the fullback takes it up, and not much there. And it looks like that was Tincher on the carry. Let's see.
That was, I think, Hurst. They're still going to alternate them a little bit.
Hurst back in there. So Hurst picks up about 3. It'll be 2nd and 7 coming up now for the Falcons.
And they're probably going to try and get something where they can get Collins to the outside a little bit and see 22-second scoring drive real easy when you only have 13 yards to go.
It's nice when your defense can come up with a drive for you, really. So 2nd and 7 now. A quick pass, and behind his intended receiver, thrown out there.
Now, I don't know if
Jason Mucha.
Now, I don't know if that's an audible that Murphy called or not, because the Athens defense was trying to disguise a blitz from one of the linebackers, and it never happened. And it just looked like he turned and made the quick pass, and Mucha went about 4 yards downfield, and I don't think that's something that you miss in the huddle. There must have been a missed audible.
High formation now, 2 receivers split.
3rd and long.
And 3rd and 7 coming up. Back to pass. He's got his man. Complete for the first down. And down at about the 40-yard line. So Dana Murphy comes up with a big completion there.
Well, get downfield, get inside the zone, and just find a little area where you can turn and catch it. That's what Jason Lucci did. And whatever miscommunication they had on the previous play wasn't here this time. They both make up for it. Perfect play, perfect execution. They get a first down.
So there he is, Much on the reception. Makes a big first down for the Falcons with 20 seconds left here in the first quarter at Rochester High School.
Now, see if they try to get Collins the ball. Maybe now with a little room behind him, go back to that option.
And they go to the first man, and that is Tincher. Tincher with a big gain. It's probably the biggest first down carry that we've seen so far.
I would agree for either team. Well, yeah, carry-wise, yeah. I was about to say Athens scored on a first down, but yeah, as far as a rush goes, without a doubt, probably going to have to keep an eye on who the fullback is for Rochester the rest of the night. Seems they're alternating a little bit. But that's a good way to end the first quarter, get yourself set up with second down and about 3 at the start of the second quarter.
Melissa brought him down for Athens, and that will end the first quarter of play here at Rochester High School with the Falcons, the home team, trailing 6-0. A little bit of a break there for the Falcons when Athens missed that extra point. So it's a moral victory in a sense.
Well, and Athens knows from the positive side what a missed extra point can do for you because they won 7-6 last week. So you know they got to come back on that.
Yeah, both teams have been in tough, or low-scoring games lately. Transition tackles tough issues like racism, poverty, and current local problems. Jeffrey Miller hosts this interesting half-hour designed to open your mind. Watch Transition Wednesday and Friday night at 9 on TCI 63.
We won't see the Foo Fighters video on Transition, will we?
No, but I've got a feeling you're gonna get your dream come true coming up on Roadshow Video.
That's pretty big.
I have some inside information for you.
That's huge.
That I think your video has arrived.
All right. This is so cool.
Second down, about 3 now. And the Red Hawks are stacking them up right there, and it'll be 3rd and about 3 now. Maybe even lost a yard on the carry.
It was
Tincher.
Tincher. Yeah, Tincher again, and that time just going nowhere with that. The Athens line wouldn't let him even get to the line of scrimmage.
I think they lost a yard, so it's 3rd and 4 coming up now. Let's take a look.
There's Aaron Chalker and Matt Miller and friends all helping out. Never had a chance. Yeah, yes, the Roadshow Video is now a request show. You tell them what you want, they order it.
Well, you know, when you get connections like you do have.
You know guys who know guys.
Pat and Bubba. I formation, 2 receivers split. Going to the air, Dana Murphy, but that one went off of number 12, Lidke.
Or Kelly. Well, it might have been 13.
Well, it was intended for Kelly, but it hit the shoulder of the defender.
Yeah, it did.
Watch, here we go.
And that was something, it almost could have been an interference call, and I don't even think he was looking there.
He didn't even know, and it hit the shoulder of Lidke, the defender. 4th and punting down for the Falcons, and punting it away for the Falcons. It was Granchi, and the Red Hawks will now get it a little bit better field position than they had last time. Ball about the 26, 27-yard line.
The 2 times ago, the last time they got it at 13.
Oh, excuse me. That's right. That last time they got it on a punt.
Yeah, now, actually, if you're Rochester, you got to look at it and say, all right, you give up really the offense gives up a touchdown here. Don't give up any first downs or anything like that. The longest drive for either side so far has been 6 plays. Let the defense set something up for the Falcons this time. Maybe that's how you win the game.
And a timeout called by the Red Hawks as Graves stepped up to the line, didn't like what he had seen there, and he called the timeout. So maybe they can make some adjustments here, get the offense going here with 11:07 left in the second quarter. 6-0 the score, and they may want to put together a nice drive here.
And it might be also the fact that you are pinned a little bit back in your own territory, and you want to remind them not to give up the ball or do anything, make any mental mistakes so you're going to give the ball up to anybody else and give Rochester an easy score.
And again, this season, the Master Anglers are back. And your host, Mark Gomez, takes us out in the waters of Michigan with the Master Anglers. He and his guests will give you the advice you need to reel in a fish just like this one here that Mark has. That's the Master Anglers, Thursday night at 8 on Channel 63.
Nice watch he had there, too. You know,
yeah.
Very nice watch.
Yeah, that's a fishing watch.
I think he got that for free. You know, you buy the Pocket Fisherman from Pool Fields, they send you a watch.
You know, he carries his Pocket Fisherman, I think, down on the field while he's running camera. And I think maybe later on we can...
There's a pond somewhere around here.
Pool.
Pool or a pond.
Pool or pond. In motion is Uren, and handoff goes to 33, and that is Mishka, and he was stacked up immediately.
Yeah, well, yeah, Sippa and...
let's take a look.
Friends. Sippa, Jason
Sippa
Swinney.
coming around the backside.
Yeah, he came behind to finish it off. It was actually number 42, Passmore, who started it off. But there's just, if one guy can hold him up, you've got all the size coming after you.
Passmore right there starting it all and creating about a yard loss, actually.
Andrew Welch was also in on it. There's just so many big guys out there.
Claycomb, in motion. Handoff off tackle, going to Guitar, and not much there again. So both teams, they're not doing much. It's kind of like watching the Vikings and the Lions again, professionally.
Well, if we can get a tipped ball off something, that'd be cool. But
we're not getting much going offensively. They continue to try to make something happen.
So real
and John Walker looking on, trying to see what he can do.
Real conservative attack for both teams. Kind of a chess match between John Walker and Mark Merlo right now. Have not seen Athens really use that option to its full extent yet.
And that's what we've been looking for. Third and a long 9 now. In motion goes Uren. Back to pass. Graves has a man wide open in the flat. Mishka close to a first down. And that is the first time they tried something a little different, and it freed him up wide open out there. Nobody near him, Joe.
Well, and John Walker had said before the game, they run a lot of motion. There's the motion man taking the defender back, allowing Mishka to get the ball, and then it's up to him to get the first down. He makes one move, and then he drags McCann just far enough to get the first down. The key to that, though, was sending number 7, Uren, in motion. That when he went upfield, that took the first defender with him, and that opened up a little bit of a lane for Michigan.
I formation, 3 receivers split now for Graves. In motion, Claycomb. Graves back to pass. And tries it the other way this time. And it's complete out to Guitar. Guitar, plenty of room. And tiptoes down the sideline to pick up the first down, but a flag is down, Joe.
Yeah, and I don't know what the flag's going to be called for. I'll tell you what, give Mike Gregory, or Greg Hayes, number 66, a good block. Didn't level anybody, but he got in the way. As you see the screen pass, nice job by Guitar of getting control of the ball. And you might be able to see Hayes come up and just get in the way. And you couldn't see that it already happened there, but he got in the way and allowed an extra couple of yards. And I don't know where the penalty might have been a clip.
It came back. It was a clip. And if we can see it one more time, I know where it was. I saw it was on Trevor Pace was the, there it is. Right there.
Oh, yeah.
Right there.
Yep.
And that's where it was. And it was Uren on the clip as he was downfield blocking.
Yeah.
And right behind him.
You know, again, something that you see in high school all the time when a receiver does it. They know they're doing it, and they try to hold off, and the actual clip ends up not making a difference in the play.
And that really could have been let go after that big gain. So 2nd and 10 now, or 1st and 10, excuse me, as the yard markers just said 2nd and 10. The pitch goes out to Mishka, and he is stacked up right about the line of scrimmage, so not much of a game there on that option play.
Yeah, well, you avoided Chris Battershell, but that just let Aaron Topinka come up and finish him off. And only about a gain of 1, 2nd down and 9.
37-yard line.
Let's see if they maybe go back to that pass play that they ran to Ferns for the touchdown. He got wide open, keeping it short and out.
Maybe if they continue running those short little patterns, maybe we'll get some people open. Athens on the move now. 8:24 left in the first half. 6-0, they lead over the Rochester Falcons. Ball at about the 38-yard line of Athens. Fake up the middle. Graves gets out of the pocket and now scrambles. Under pressure. Will unload downfield, and his man
That was
Burns, but I'll tell you what, I think he was hit before the ball got there.
It's
Handley.
close.
Rob Handley ran into the back of him. Let's take a look.
Is it close? And right here, he's looking for Ferns deep, and he's covered. And then you've got the defense coming in. Scrambles to buy himself some time. Ferns notices this and comes back. And at this point, his hands are in the air, and he's yelling for the ball. Graves has to turn his body to get the throw off. And let's see. It's going to be close.
Yeah, he was already on.
Yeah.
He had hit him already before the ball got there.
But, you know, it's so
no
close
call
that
on
you're...
that. Yeah.
You know, and we're looking at that in slow motion. As that happens right away, that looks like simultaneous impact.
So 3rd and 9 now. Fake, and Graves takes it himself. Graves, one-on-one out there, gets past one tackler, but then finally brought down by big number 73, Aaron Topinka.
Yeah, it was Rob Handley slowed him up a little bit. A missed block by one of his receivers, and I don't know that he would have got the first down anyway, but he really did have to go one-on-one.
So basically a bootleg all by himself out there. And I don't know what you're going to try to... I don't think you're going to pick up a first down on something like that with nobody blocking out there for you.
If that one block gets laid like it should have been, it might have been close, because as it is, it's 4th and 2, but as it is, they're punting.
Back to receive, Kevin McCann.
He's back there with Collins as well.
And Collins to the near sideline. Here's Guitar, no pressure. And finally got pressured by Sippa, and he got it off just barely. McCann takes it deep, and now is knocked down by the referee. So, mark the referee for a tackle, and he got him back inside the 15-yard line, about the 14. Let's take a look at this strange play.
Yeah, it got strange even before that, and here's McCann taking the ball. Let's see if he loses his footing, actually, cutting back. He kind of did, and then the ref got in his way. Even before that, Qatar held the ball. It looked like he was looking like maybe I can run for the 3 yards here and get the first down. All of a sudden, you got this big 6'5" monster coming in to block it. He had to kick it under Sippa's feet, under his arms, I should say, and it rolled to actually pin Rochester deep.
Yeah, and that was back judge Bob Bonacci on the tackle. Here's Collins. Collins breaks it outside for a first down, and that's the biggest offensive ground attack that we've seen on a carry.
So that might be the first 10-yard run he's had. That's Collins following Tincher through the hole and getting a downfield block from Jason Mucha.
Big break right there. Collins broke a tackle right at the line of scrimmage. Actually zipped right past it. Finally brought down, and the Falcons band wants to get fired up and get things going here.
And that's only the second first down for Rochester. Whereas Athens only has, the touchdown and maybe 1 or 2 other first downs.
First man through, and that is Tincher on the carry, and he picks up about 6 yards on the carry. It'll be second down, about 4 coming up.
And here's the fullback, again, over 100 yards last week, and that's why you can get 7 yards every time you carry it through, 6 or 7 anyway. As a fullback, every now and then you break one.
So the Falcons on the move, second down and 4 now. There you see Jason Tincher, senior fullback, and he's got the sophomore tailback behind him. Collins. Ball goes to Collins. Collins up the middle, picks up the first down at about the 40-yard line.
Yeah, Mark Merlo told us how fast he was. He didn't tell us he was strong.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have had the first down.
Muscled his way for the first. Let's take a look.
He did stop before the first down marker, and then he drags 2 Athens defenders with him.
He had trouble there holding on to the ball, but then now he's got it
there you've got
sure.
Toko around him, and he's still moving.
And they're still trying to rip that ball out. Look at that. Good shot down there. And it's 1st and 10 for the Falcons at their own 40. Hand off again. Collins off tackle. And finally swung and flung down by the Red Hawks, number 55 there. Pete Toko had his shirt and jersey and wouldn't let go.
Yeah, Toko did a good job, because if he doesn't hold on, you never know. A guy with some speed and some strength can get away. You see him drag him around, and that allows Chad Miller to come up and help lay another hit on him.
Miller finally helped Pete Toko get him down, but Toko would not give up. You saw him almost rip that jersey off his back. 2nd down and 5 now for the Falcons. They are on the move. A little movement in the backfield, but no call.
That's actually a good call.
Yeah, he didn't move his foot.
Not only that, technically it's motion. He moved and stopped.
Stopped and set.
He completely stopped on that. He didn't reset her, and he just stopped.
Yeah.
And fortunately for Rochester, nobody did anything. Nobody else moved, and the quarterback wasn't finished with his count anyway, so it allowed that second. He was able to get the pass off and the short completion to Ken Lawrence.
And neither did Athens move, because if they would have moved,
then you might have
then you would have probably got the flag.
Yep.
You saw Barry Sanders do the same thing in that Minnesota. We mentioned the Minnesota game.
Right.
He did the same thing where he knew he had to get out the flat real quick.
Yeah, of course, in the pros you can come back if you cross, so sometimes that's all right as far as the defense. And another strong run, though.
Here's Collins again as he picks up the 1st down. And
now
the Falcons on the move.
Mounting a drive and taking time off the clock. To see him just go right up the middle, following his pullback into the hole. You know, again, in high school, though, as we were talking just a second ago.
There's your face mask. Could have been right there.
Yeah, there's always, like I said, inside there's always face masking going on. Once you cross the line of scrimmage defensively, the play's dead. You can't come back, whereas in the pros and college, you can come back and reset.
Yeah. 1st and 10. Taking it.
He's got an open
Murphy
man.
going way deep, and it's complete. Complete down there to Battershell for the touchdown.
He had 2 open men.
A 49-yard touchdown pass from Dana Murphy to Battershell, and Chris Battershell again was trying to battle that referee. I don't know if you saw it. He was out there.
I thought this guy's going, no, not again.
Let's take a look.
Right here, he's got Ken Lawrence down the right sideline wide open, and Battershell down the middle wide open. So he goes to Battershell, and the only guy near him was the official. And it didn't matter. He got in the end zone, and now a huge extra point.
This is big right here for the Falcons. High snap.
Oh, boy.
Dressler couldn't get this one off as he just falls on it. And we've got a tie game, folks, as both teams had trouble getting that extra point. We're all tied up at 6-6.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's something that the coach tells him to do for whatever reason as far as him falling down on that ball. But unlike college, where the defense can score 2 points off an extra point, in high school the defense can't, and there's no reason not to pick that up and try to just fling it in the end zone in a Hail Mary play. As it is, though, there are no extra points made in this game, and it's 6-6. Sounds like a Tigers score after the 1st inning.
The way things are going to the pitching in the major leagues these days.
Yeah, the only difference is there's more people at this game.
Yeah. Well, heck, the Rochester band is
more
showing.
people.
I think just showing up the extra point, no good, and it's all tied up 6-6. There you see it here in the 2nd quarter. Oakland Press Perspective comes your way every week with Oakland Press editor Neil Monroe as he hosts a program designed to enlighten you on the issues that affect Oakland County. The Oakland Press Perspective airs Friday night at 8:30 right here on TCI 63. There you see the big number 35 who caught the first touchdown pass, Ed Ferns. And there you see Paul Dressler, the kicker.
Yeah, Ferns deep at about the 6-yard line.
So 2 touchdowns tonight, Joe, and both passes. You believe that?
Yeah, from these 2 teams, it is a bit of a surprise, and neither team was able to convert an extra point.
Ball taken by Fournier. And Fournier muscles his way out to about the 27-yard line.
That's both kickoffs for Rochester have gone to him, gone down the left sideline. That's a tough catch to make, especially when you got your teammate knocking you down as you're catching it.
Yeah.
But he gets it up to about the 27, and Athens, this is about their usual start.
Well, Ferns helped him catch it, kind of got it off his face mask behind him as the ball went over his head. There's the scoring drive, 7 plays, 85 yards total, 3:43 off the clock, and a 48-yard pass from Murphy to Battershell.
Yeah, and now Athens, with 2:56 on the clock running, will probably have to throw the ball a little bit, but you have to be careful deep in your own territory right now.
In motion, Claycomb. Graves to pass out to the flat and complete and dropped there by Handley.
That was
The
Ferns
pass
again.
was complete to Ferns, and Ferns could have might try to get out of bounds on later plays here, but they still have some time on the clock.
Well, yeah, he's just a short out, and he just leans into the guy and tries to get a couple of yards. Interesting, the other side, you had Scott Brent and John Claycomb kind of open downfield. It might be something they go back to on this drive.
2nd and 4. Claycomb in motion again. Graves drops back, the draw, and it works big. Mishka will have the first down and more as he cuts the corner to the 50, the 45, and makes a move at the 40. Finally brought out of bounds at the 36-yard line. So a big play there for Athens with 1:58 left on the clock, and they've got time to score here, Joe.
Big run, and he got out of bounds. You know, for a second there, you're kind of wondering what he was doing at the end of the run. Right about here, he sees he's going to get the first down and have a clear shot at the sideline. All of a sudden, he's able to outrun Hurst. And right here, he makes the move on a 33-yard run, and then the Rochester defenders tackle him out of bounds. Of course, you got no choice. You just got to tackle the guy, but that stops the clock, and they're in scoring position right now.
So the 33-yard run matches the number on his jersey, and a big play on this drive so far. Graves back to pass, gets out of the pocket, and will try to dump it off, goes back, has complete, out to Ferns. Ferns picks up a block and gets inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line, and the clock will keep running here until they get the chains fixed.
Ed Ferns caught over 30 passes last year, and this is the second or third time we've seen him adjust his route because the quarterback's been scrambling. That's something a lot of high school receivers don't do that well. I mean, he adjusts it to the quarterback's favor as far as just wherever he can make the easiest throw possible and gets himself open. And to top that off, well, he doesn't get out of bounds, but still, I don't think he really needed to. 1:30 is plenty of time.
That clock stopped at 1:44. They got the chains back, and clock is running now. I formation in motion is Claycomb. Graves on the draw again to Mishka, and he finally goes down at around the line of scrimmage. So
He just couldn't.
back to the line of scrimmage.
He never got his footing on that play. I think we're going to get a timeout right now from Athens. Mishka just wasn't able to get his footing on this play. Right there you see it.
Well, I
like the call. I even thought that going in. I thought this is the time to run a draw because you've got 2 timeouts left.
They ran the draw perfectly on the previous play. They got him down here. That was a great time for a draw at that point, and it worked out great on the 33-yard run. The timeout called down on the field, and there you see the Rochester fans trying to get their defense going right now. All tied up at 6 apiece with 1:09 left.
And Mishka, 6 carries, 39 yards, 33 of them on that one run, though. So you got to maybe look for Ferns. He's got 3 catches for 37 yards, including the 1 touchdown.
Here, Mark Merlot trying to get his defense fired up right now. Needs a big play from them with 1:09 left here in the first half, as the Falcons try to hang on right now and go into halftime with a tie score. Or perhaps a turnover.
Well, you never know. I kind of like how those Rochester coaches all have the same golf shirt. Yeah. Sort of like NFL coaches do. Of course, if they were with Dallas, they'd have plain white shirts with a Nike logo.
Are you asking for one?
I like those. Well, no, that'd be. Nah.
Well, you asked for your video on the roadshow,
and I got
and you
that.
got your video.
And then
now.
I think it was 2 weeks ago we asked about free food from all the other places, and they brought us pops up here.
And last week we asked for a great game. We got one.
Got that, yeah.
Here we go. 2nd down, 10.
I'd like to win the lotto tomorrow.
Claycomb in motion. I formation. And Graves back to pass, looking for one man in the corner. Ferns over his man, touchdown.
Oh, my.
Ferns just reached over the defender, Battershell, and picked up the touchdown.
And I don't know what else the guy's supposed to do. He had Battershell and Handley both down there.
17-yard touchdown pass. Let's take a look.
The defender's doing his job. The ball's
Beautiful pass.
It's there, but the defender's there to make the play.
Yeah. And he ripped it right out of his hands. That's what when you get a 6.
Over the top, and that was actually over the top of Rob Handley.
It was Handley, 8?
Yeah. And they were thinking about going for 2, and they called timeout. I think they might have just realized we don't need to go for 2 because Rochester missed their extra point as well.
It was Battershell. I could have sworn I saw the number 9.
All right. Well, we'll bet on that.
I double-checked.
We'll bet on that. We'll bet on that.
He was
later.
out there, right there.
No, 8 was out there too.
No, 8 was playing the far side that drive. If Pat Collar has it, he'll show the replay, and
All right.
we'll take a look at number 9 down.
But whoever it was, he leaped over him. How tall is this guy anyway? 35 at Fern, 6'3", 185.
Let's take a look.
And I'll tell you so much, he's got to let the play run through the end because it's when he turns around that you see his line. Because I'm probably wrong and I'm probably going to lose this, but...
Number 9.
Well, wait till he turns and look at his back. There's number 9. It's 8.
Oh, it's 8. All right, you're right, Joe. You're just getting everything your way tonight.
That's why
Except for me and Mark Merlot here, things aren't going well
I'd like
for
to
us.
win the lottery tomorrow, though. That's like you said, if we're getting everything we asked for.
So tough break for Mark Merlot and myself on that call.
And that's
12-6 the score, and things are going his way, John Walker's way right now. Let's see if he can pick up this crucial extra point. They've been hard to come by tonight.
Well, yeah, and again, I think they just, went up with the instinct, we've got 6, we need to go for 2. And again, they reminded themselves they only needed the 1.
They only need the 1. They get it this time. And the extra point is good.
So it's 2 touchdown passes, Graves to Ferns each time. And now Rochester will have a minute left to try to come up with whatever they can.
Just a great effort by Ferns to just wrestle that ball away.
Well, yeah, that drive,
unhandily.
The key to that drive was 1, the 33-yard run by Mishka, and then Graves 3 for 3 on that drive, all 3 catches made by Ferns. Now you've got to think, if you're Rochester, they just went deep on their last possession to score. Maybe they can get a touchdown, but if not, remember, their kicker, Paul Dressler, we mentioned this earlier, last year, a 47-yard field goal and a 49-yard field goal.
Mm-hmm. And he's got his leg back,
If they can get to the 30, that's a 47-yard field goal.
So the Red Hawks come out strong now. 5 plays, 73 yards, 2:14 off the clock. They did it quickly, Joe, and helped out by that big 33-yard run. 33 of those 73. And then the 17-yard pass from Graves to Ferns. And the Falcons are stunned right now. They can't believe they did it so quick.
Well, they did a great job of getting the ball out of bounds when they had to, getting big plays whenever they needed to, converting their third downs. And there you see the deep men.
It is Collins and at number 83, McCann again. This gets past Collins, goes into the end zone, and
that's not a bad thing.
That's not bad, really. Yeah, I was going to say they get it at the 20.
Unless he can return that to the 40 or so, let the clock start with 103. If he returns it and stays in bounds, the clock runs again once the chains are set.
Yep. So 103. They start with the clock there. Here we see Collins will try to pick it up on the bounce, and it didn't bounce up to him.
Now at this point, you let it go, get in the end zone, take the touchback. Now you see what Dana Murphy can do. Remember last time he went deep for the touchdown. Have to send some guys out again here.
Yep, 3 receivers. Drops back, getting pressure now, and really the pressure went around him. Good blocking and complete. Great catch, and it is in bounds. And
this time,
picks up the first down and stops the clock.
This time, it's number 9.
Yeah, this time it's 9. Thank you.
Battershell. Good throw. Good leap by Battershell. I think it looked like it was coming right to him, and I don't know if the ball just sailed on him or not.
You sure that's 9? Just kidding. Well, look what the 9
caught
comes
it
up. See,
I
that's
know.
What happened.
I know. The only reason I knew it was I saw the first replay.
No wind now. It was real windy before the game started, and the wind just died down.
Yeah, but it's cold down there.
Here's Murphy. Dana Murphy has plenty of time. Unloads deep, and hanging back with the interception.
No, he doesn't have it.
Is Joe Guitar with the interception, and he just hung back. The Athens defenders were just waiting for that long bomb.
A lot of air into that ball. We mentioned on the touchdown play that he threw to Battershell that Lawrence was open down the right side. He's open again here, but you got to throw it on a little
underneath.
Bit of a rope.
Yep.
This thing, he puts a lot of air under it, and that allows the safety to come over.
Not a bad pass, but just too much time for the defense.
Guitar is not the guy covering on this play. Yeah. He's playing center field, kind of in a prevent, and he comes over and gets it. Athens has the ball, but they have used all their timeouts. So unless they can come up with a quick sideline pattern, we don't know what Graves' field goal range is. This is probably going to be the score for the end of the half.
50 seconds left, and hold on here. Athens has 3 receivers in there too.
Yeah, they're going to try for it.
And 2 backs are back there. The flag fell, an unintentional flag, back at the 20.
And again, this year in high school football, you can take the ball and spike it at the line of scrimmage as they do in college and the pros, which is an easier way to stop the clock, something they couldn't do before. So that, if you can get it set up with 10 seconds left, you might be able to kill the clock and have 1 extra play.
I'll tell you what, a quick score here will really deflate the Falcons right now. So you never know if Athens is going to try for it. They've come up big through the air. Let's see if they do something else here with 50 seconds left here in the first half.
Wouldn't be surprised if we're going to draw, though.
J.D. Graves, the quarterback, drops back, feels pressure, steps up, and he's sacked. The ball is loose, but he was down already at about the 32-yard line. So a big sack on Graves, a loss of almost 10 yards. Let's see where they mark it.
And I think if you're Athens now, you try not to run another play. You went for it, that's fine, but now let the half end.
Yeah, clock is running as we speak.
Yeah, he's got, he's...
Did the ground cause it? What, is he already down or what?
But it was an Athens player who did recover it, although at that point when he picked it up, the whistles had blown and the Rochester guys had stopped going after it. And again, another one of those close calls that when you see it in fast motion, it's harder to make the call.
There's the clock winding down. They do run the draw now, Joe. Let's see what happens. Mishka finally goes down, and the clock will run out.
Definitely the safe call to make.
Yeah, and some more yardage for Mishka. He gained about 12 yards on the carry. That'll do it. And let's take a look at the final play here of the first half as Mishka picks up some big yardage. Waits for his block right there, and that springs him for some big yardage.
Well, and again, that's a play that in the previous drive he gained 33 yards on. What the heck, you never know. Maybe he does break one. But it's smart, I think, not to try to throw there in case you do get sacked again, and this time you do fumble the ball.
So an interesting first half of play here. We knew it was going to be a close game, and it is. The Athens Redhawks 13, the Rochester Falcons 6. We'll be back with some stats for you at halftime right after these messages. Stay with us.
What TCI is looking to do is we're looking to be a full-service provider, a one-stop shopping place, if you will. We're looking to provide all the services that anyone wants to consume in the area of communications, whether that's cable television, whether that's telephone, whether that's data, online services. Our goal is to be able to provide all those through one avenue, and that avenue being TCI.
On the Master Anglers, we bring you the hottest fishing action around the state of Michigan. From tips and techniques to advice and stories from the pros, the Master Anglers gives you the info you need to catch the big ones. Plus, it's just plain fun. That's the Master Anglers, Thursday nights at 8 on TCI Channel 63.
Welcome back to Rochester High School. Dave Zorin along with Joe Abramson, where the Athens Redhawks lead the Rochester Falcons 13-6 here at halftime. And the Redhawks really have done a nice job, too. Here we see some of the scoring in that second quarter. Rochester started off the second quarter scoring in fine fashion with a 48-yard touchdown pass there from Murphy to Battershell. And the extra point was no good, and that tied the score at that point, 6-6.
Yeah, and that was, because previous to that, Ed Ferns caught a 13-yard pass from J.D. Graves, and they missed the extra point as well.
And that started the scoring.
Here's the same connection once again.
So with 1:03 left in the first half, Graves throws to Ferns over the defender. Ferns reaches over, and that height, that 6'3" height, helped him out there as Graves to Ferns for 17 yards. The extra point was good, and that's where we stand, 13-6. And the halftime stats for you: pretty balanced attack for Athens, 63 and 65 respectively. For Rochester, 59 and 63.
Pretty balanced either way.
Both sides very even as you take a look. First downs, the same thing, 4 and 5. Turnovers, 2 for Rochester. The last one really didn't matter.
The last one didn't matter, but the fact is, these numbers are all even. The score would be even except for the other turnover, which gave Athens their first touchdown.
And the ball was down at the 17-yard line. That's where they picked up that touchdown to Ferns. Actually, it was that first one, 13 yards, Graves to Ferns, and that's what gave them that big lead. So you see the teams are pretty well matched, Joe, and we thought that was going to happen. Next week, we're not sure what's going to happen. We've got two good teams going at it. Centerline, the Panthers, taking on the Avondale Yellow Jackets. We've not seen Centerline here on the TCI Game of the Week, but the Yellow Jackets we have seen.
Where is Centerline?
Where is center line? It's in between Warren and, Roseville, I believe? Yeah.
Thank you.
South of the freeway, south of 696.
Thank you. That helps.
And they're traveling all the way out to Avondale.
That is two of the coolest logos you'll ever see on a promo.
I think
you
so.
Got the bee and the panther.
That's right.
That's huge. We should just use that promo every week, no matter who's playing. Just for the logos.
There you see the beautiful sky here at Rochester High School. The fans packing them in. I think we've had another sellout here at Rochester. I think they're packing them in every time they have a sellout on their side of the field.
And they're sitting out there, and I think it's pretty cold now.
There you see Mark Merlo trying to get his team fired up here in the second half. They trail by 7, 13-6. And on the other side, John Walker gets his team fired up. The 49er lookalikes, the Athens Redhawks.
Yeah, they are.
Coming in.
The real 49er uniforms, not those goofy throwbacks they were wearing last year.
Yeah, I don't care for those.
No, Lions had good throwback uniforms.
The Rochester Falcons now will receive. And kicking off, there you see number 11, Graves. J.D. Graves, the quarterback and also kicker on this team, will kick off deep and deep again. This time, Battershell is deep, number 9, and also McCann.
So Collins is not on the return team. You have to wonder if he's hurt or if they're just making a change because he didn't pick up the ball on that last kickoff.
Ball taken by McCann. McCann cuts up the middle of the field, has some room.
It's gone.
And breaks it at the 50.
Craig Sippa, what a block.
Touchdown, Rochester, and what a way to start the second half.
I knew I was going to say Mike Sippa at some point. That's Sippa's older brother who's now playing, I believe, for Central Michigan. But Craig Sippa had J.D. Graves, the kicker, waiting back in case somebody breaks it. And he might have had the angle because he's got good speed. And Sippa took him out, leveled it. And there was no one going to touch McCann. Let's see if we're going to be able to see the block. You see, this is a perfectly executed kick return. You take it up the middle first, get as much as you can, and then look for a hole and break it. He never had to look for a hole until right about now when he breaks it. And you're going to see going by, maybe you'll see Sippa lay him out right there.
Yep.
Laid him out 96 yards. And we're an extra point away from a tie game.
Kevin McCann all the way, 96 yards. The extra point is good. And we've got a tie game again, 13-13.
Wow.
What a way to start the second half. We saw a great game last week, folks.
Getting another one.
We're getting another one here tonight.
Who's our schedule maker?
I'll tell you. Let's talk to that Ken Taylor, Pat Collar.
They have those board meetings,
When they get together.
They get together. They spend hours on this. It's a slotting thing. They slot each team into a thing and work out a schedule. It's a big scientific thing. They put the teams in a hat.
They were up till 3 in the morning one night.
Watching Beavis and Butthead.
That's right.
And then they put them all in a hat, pulled them out, and we got lucky.
So Kevin McCann comes up big. And you better believe Mark Merlo was out there firing his team up right before that kickoff.
And it worked. And again, the blocking, Sippa's block was easy to see because it was out in front of everybody, but the other guys out there executed that return perfectly. And now it's up to Athens to come back with something. You don't have to return this for a touchdown, but you've got to get yourself good field position and then establish a drive.
Dressler to kick. Goes deep. Ferns has it at about the 4-yard line. That's where McCann got his. This time, Ferns goes to the sideline and will not get past the 30. Ball out at about the 27-yard line, and that's where Athens will start.
That's where they always start, is at the 27-yard line, and that's fine. That's enough room that you don't have to be too conservative as you see Ferns getting the return. But I still want to see a little more option from these guys. We did not see much of the true option from them except for fullback dives.
That seems to be lacking from the Troy offense, but no complaints from anybody. There you see the kicker, Dressler, has boomed him deep. J.D. Graves will start the Troy Athens offense. Hand off to the tailback, and not much there.
And right into pass more.
We got 4 or 5 defenders getting him down. Sippa in there also on the carry by Michigan.
And again, it's just a basic halfback off tackle run. Still not seeing a lot of that option with the pitches.
be, you see, there's a guy who just made the tackle, Charles Passmore. And maybe also, nice to see, they're going to have to throw to somebody other than Ferns. Every completion has been to Ferns.
3 receivers out there now, and Claycomb in motion. Let's see if they do go to the air here. Well, they go to the ground again. Mishka off tackle, has plenty of room, busts into the backfield, and eludes one tackler, and down at about the 50-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 49 of Rochester.
Yeah, well.
So a big gain again for Mishka.
That shows how much I know. I just criticize him for continually running these basic off-tackle plays, and this one turns into a huge gain and a first down inside Rochester territory.
It's been working for him.
That was at Aaron Burton finally getting the tackle after they got it down to the 49-yard line.
1st and 10 now for Athens in Rochester territory at the 49. I formation, 3 receivers out in the pro set. And Claycomb in the slot makes his move. In motion. Back to pass. Graves on a first down. Has his man open.
Flag on the play.
And a flag down, and that looked like it was Ferns out there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe it was. And that throw was supposed to go right into his chest, and it kind of led him actually in front, and it turned into a positive in terms of the play, although it's going to come back because of the hold. If you take a look at this, it's supposed to hit him in the chest and be a quick turn. Ends up leading him before he makes the catch, but he's catching it in motion, and he's leaning forward what would have been a first down.
Yeah, and there's not a defender there to give him any trouble either as he was leaning.
Right now it is a first down, but it's a first down and I believe 21.
Yeah.
They should call the penalty from the spot of the infraction, which was 4 yards downfield. That's not something Athens needs at all, because 1st and 21 in a game like this where both teams are playing relatively conservative is a tough situation.
Yep. 1st and 21 now.
1st and 20 for the Red Hawks.
And we're at the 10-minute mark. 10-minute mark left here in the 3rd quarter, and a long way to go now for Athens for that first down. Claycomb in motion. Graves takes it himself, faked the dive, and he took it himself. He's got back to the original line of scrimmage and finally goes out of bounds at about the 45.
Big play by Graves. And there's an injured Falcon down in the field back at the line of scrimmage. Big play by Graves, gets more than just a penalty back. There's the fake to the fullback. There he eludes Andrew Welch and Sippa. Takes it outside, breaks another tackle right there. And the rest is all up to Graves, just getting as much as he can out of this play. Gets him down to about a 2nd down and a long 5.
Yep, 2nd down, about 5 coming up.
Very
Mike
manageable.
Zoli is down, number 66.
You see the senior defensive lineman. You can't tell from that angle what it is exactly they're looking at. Probably an ankle,
It's good that
maybe a
he's
knee.
at least sitting up, so that is a good sign that he is sitting up.
And that's, I think the official's coming over to tell Rochester.
He's getting up on
He's
his
talking to
own.
another official. I think he was, the Rochester players are all huddled around their coach. As long as they stay in bounds, it's okay, and that's what they were doing.
Yeah, Mark Merlo got him over to the sideline.
Yep.
You see him there. Transition tackles tough issues like racism, poverty, and current local problems. Jeffrey Miller, your host, has this interesting half-hour show designed to open your mind. Watch Transition Wednesday and Friday night at 9 on TCI 63. It'll be 2nd down and 5 coming up now for the Red Hawks. And they dodged a bullet there. They had the 1st and 21, and now come up with a big 2nd and 5. So a big break. There you see Zoli on the sidelines. And he's getting his shoe back on. Looks like
They're going to take it off and retape the ankle. That's what they're going to do. Because that's one of those things I think most high school coaches now tell a guy, once you're down and the official calls an official timeout, just stay there.
Yeah,
take your time.
We need that.
Yeah, take your time for your own sake and for the rest of the team. We're in no hurry.
I formation. 2 receivers split. They've got one in the slot up top. Graves to pass. Has time. Looks downfield. Leads his receiver. A little too much. Well covered out there by number 35 for Rochester. That is Battershell, Jason Battershell.
Well, that's the first time they looked to another receiver. That time they looked for Claycomb. I want to take a look at this. I don't know if Sippa got his hands on it or not, but you're going to see big number 77 get right in his face on this throw. And he just missed tipping it, but he made him alter the throw a little too. Again, the guy's 6'5". You raise those hands, you're throwing over almost 7 feet. And you throw in the good coverage.
And there's...
and we got another penalty.
You see Zoli getting taped up again on the sideline, getting that ankle taped up a little better.
Make that ankle
and another
tighter.
penalty.
All right, now,
Another penalty coming up for the Red Hawks.
and this one they marked from actually behind the line of scrimmage because the hold happened somewhere back where the quarterback was scrambling. It'll be second down again, but we're back to not even 21, second down and about 22.
Yeah, second and 22 now. So Athens finds themselves right back where they started. In motion is Claycomb. And Mishka trying to turn the corner and way back, brought down. Passmore wouldn't give up, and then finally the rest of the defense caught up. But it was Passmore who got there first.
Yeah, Passmore nails him, and then you've got Mizio and Topinka and gang showing up later, but it's Passmore fought off a block there from number 66. That's Hayes, I believe. Greg Hayes, and then everybody else comes in and finishes it off. And that now you've got third down and forever, third and about 30.
Hurst finally showed up and helped Passmore get him down.
I think
Ball just shy of the 30-yard line, Joe.
Yeah,
They've got to go all the way to the 39 of Rochester.
Now you run a draw here and get yourself in good punting position.
Almost an incredible task now for the Red Hawks to get this first down. Let's see what happens.
No, he's going to try and throw it.
Third and 31, and he throws downfield and batted down by number 40. That was Burton, Aaron Burton on the block.
That's where you get a little risky throwing those when you don't have much chance of getting the first down. But as it is, they'll have to punt anyway. There's Burton, the sophomore. Called his name a couple times. They got a couple sophomores out there doing well. Running back Collins on the offensive side and Burston on the defensive side.
So Burton knocks it down, and it'll bring up a punting down now for the Red Hawks. They had a chance, but the penalties killed them on this drive. 8:36 left here in the third quarter.
It's Guitar back punting.
Guitar punting, and back to receive is McCann.
And last time he touched the ball, he ran a kickoff for a touchdown.
This is over the head of McCann. McCann drifts back to the 30 and gets it there. Tries to make a cut down the sideline, tried to cut back across, and slipped and fell there. Ball will go down at about the 38-yard line.
Well, I thought, I might have just been looking out of the corner of my eye. I thought he started to signal for a fair catch. He might have just been, shooing a bug away or something. But footing out there, a couple times we've seen guys slip on that field. It hasn't been raining or anything, but it's cold. Who knows? Maybe it's slippery too.
Dave Zoran here along with Joe Abramson to bring you this contest here at Rochester High School. All tied up at 13 apiece. Handoff to Collins. Collins. Great surge by that offensive line for Rochester. And it comes up now, second and short yardage. Let's take a look.
He doesn't get hit until Doug Miller, a defensive back, hits him. You don't need defensive backs tackling running backs.
Finally, Miller brings him down. There you see the Rochester fans. Had something to cheer about early here in this second half on the big 96-yard kickoff return by Kevin McCann to tie the game up at 13 apiece. Second down and 3 now. Two receivers split up top. The handoff to the first man through, and he looks like he's got the first down. And that's Tinchin.
Yeah, he's got it, at least by the way the official is standing.
Tincher on the carry for the first down.
The brain trust for the Falcons.
Falcon coaches look on, and they try to get a big drive now. This is the first offensive drive for them in this quarter.
Yeah, they took the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. That was it. There you see.
Zoli. Mike Zoli warming up on the sideline. He went off with that ankle sprain. Collins bounces off the initial hit at the line of scrimmage and maybe picked up a yard or two.
Yeah, the initial hit came from Clint Belanger. And that allowed Melissa and I believe Toko to get in there and finish him off. You see right there, he runs into Belanger.
Almost got the ball loose, too.
Yeah.
Look.
But once you've got him wrapped and you know your teammates are there to help, then strip the ball if you can.
Just inside the 50. Second and 9 for the Falcons.
Second and 9 coming up.
Well, is he limping or is he tired? He hasn't. Oh, they haven't had a lot of plays. He must have turned an ankle or something.
Yeah, he is limping in the backfield just now. Murphy hands off, and again it's Tincher.
Well, looking at Collins now, he looks like he might have been holding his ribs too. Maybe he took a shot and got the wind knocked out of him. But you see Tincher taking it up the middle, and Collins wasn't even able to effectively run out the fake as far as the pitch goes. Still, Tincher was able to get it within a yard of the first down.
So 3rd and 1 now coming up for Rochester. You can see he's
still out
he's
there.
having a little trouble.
Again, he's a sophomore. This is a little different pounding than he probably got in the freshman team last year.
And Murphy hands off, first man through, and Tincher picks up the first down. Ball at the 40, so the Falcons now moving offensively into
now he's limping.
territory. Now he's limping. So.
And remember, Tincher's the guy who John Walker said, again, before the game, first guy you got to stop is Tincher. But now you've got you got your entire offensive backfield limping except for the quarterback, and I don't think you want him running. Interesting to see if maybe you try to throw on 1st and 10, give those guys a little break.
Murphy takes it himself, and he takes a loss. A big loss. Back there on the sack was Chris Fair, number 58.
Take a look, Chris Fair unblocked. Just small block coming from Tincher, but he fights that off and gets through. He's all over it, and he's got teammates coming to help.
A big sack for Chris Fair.
Another sophomore.
And another sophomore, and that's a 10-yard loss now for the Falcons. It'll bring up 2nd down and 20.
Yeah, so each team's got their sophomores contributing tonight. Of course, you know, the usual logic with the high school coaches, if you're going to put a sophomore on varsity, you play him. Otherwise, you keep him on JV.
Murphy on the draw, gives it to Collins. Collins busts it outside, gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and finally knocked out of bounds. It'll be a 3rd down and about 6 or 7 coming up here.
Again, Doug Miller making the tackle. He's had to make a few tackles on Collins. Didn't look hurt that time.
Take a look. Good draw play.
Just takes the draw. You see Sippa leading his man out, opening the hole. Then it's just a foot race till he can get to the sidelines. Now it's up to the defensive backs to keep him from the first down.
3rd and 7.
Miller's able to do it.
Yep, 3rd and 7 coming up now.
When Tincher came off the field fast, and he looked real gimpy.
Mike Collins, 10 carries, 61 yards, pretty good average. He's trying to shake something loose here. Looks like he's getting tight on his ankle as well. They're loaded in there with receivers, and Murphy will take it himself. Trying to break it outside, and down inside the 30. He'll be short of the first down, but meeting him there was number 12, Eric Lidke.
It's going to be interesting. Here he's rolling out. Now, this time they only had one back there in the backfield. They had 3 receivers, so he had a little less blocking, and here he's got to take it upfield. At this point, it looks like he's going to get it, and then he has to take it to the sideline. And Rochester's going to call a timeout right now. They're 4th down and about 2, maybe 3. If you try a field goal here, it's 50 yards. Remember, Rochester's got a kicker. Kicked a 49-yarder last year. He's got the leg for it, but he's also struggled this year, and this is a very tough decision to make.
There you see the sideline. Mark Merlo in the middle of that huddle. And if you want to be in the middle of, well, some great fishing, tune into the Master Anglers program with your host, Mark Gomez. He takes you on the waters of Michigan and with some Master Anglers.
Photo needs updated. He's got a goatee now.
Oh, that's right.
You got to update that. That's what he looks like now.
That's Thursday night at 8 right here on TCI 63, the Master Anglers. And there he is. Can you see that?
Now you see? There's... You see that thing? You can't tell real well, but there is a goatee there. He's trying. He's really trying.
He won't turn around. We can't.
Now he won't
can't
turn.
Do it
No.
now. So, well, we tried, folks. He's
He's a private man.
yeah, he is. He's very keeps to
He's
himself.
a recluse.
Yeah. It's the first time we've used that word on the program, by the way.
Yeah, watch your language. And look, we are going to get a 50-yard field goal attempt, which I believe would be a TCI record. Not that we keep such things, but I don't think we've ever seen a 50-yard field goal.
Nope. Well, big 49. I think he's just shy of the.
Give him
it
the
is.
50.
It's up, and it's going to be short.
Well, he should
Short
ask.
and off to the left. Just a little bit short and off to the left.
Yeah, it's Paul Dressler. He should get a hold of the people that run that kicking camp and get a refund.
And, Mark Merlo mentioned this beforehand. He goes, the guy's a great kicker, and he went to this camp, and they changed everything. And he doesn't, it's sort of like you mentioned. It's like going to a golf pro. You're playing well, you go to a golf pro, and they mess you up.
Yeah, well, that happened to me.
Well, I know you were a scratch golfer before that.
Scratch. Yeah, scratch my head every time I hit the ball. So that'll give the Red Hawks the ball at the 20, 1st and 10 there. So a tough break for the Falcons.
Well, it's very tough. You run a 9-play series, which is the longest series either team had all game, and come up with no points. That's a little deflating.
That hurts. 4:02 left here in the third quarter. And the handoff goes to the fullback. That was Guitar on the carry.
And he's getting the bulk of the carries tonight for the Red Hawks. They really have not tried to run that option. When they set up in the option, it's mostly a fullback dive. I don't know if we've seen a quarterback pitch yet. When we see Graves take it outside, he keeps it. We haven't seen a real option play yet.
And that's been their bread and butter. Maybe they're a little shy on TV. Maybe they don't want to do that. 2nd and 6. J.D. Graves, the quarterback. Blakeham in motion, fakes to the first man. No, he gives it to the first man. He has not faked it to the first man through and kept it.
He's running the fake real well, though, because he's fooling.
Guitar got the carry again. So Athens still going with that.
Good to see, you've got Mishka. He had 600 yards last season, over 100 last week. The week before, though, he was around 60 yards just because he didn't get as many carries. Did have a couple of long ones in the second quarter, though. I think I'd want to go to him. It's a little tougher, though, on 3rd down.
He's got Guitar and Mishka in the backfield. Blakeham in motion, turns back. Graves to pass, feels some pressure, takes it himself, and gets out of the pocket, picks up the first down along the sidelines. Goes out of bounds at about the 35. Where did that speed come from? He just took off.
Broken play. I thought he was nailed.
So J.D. Graves just took off down the sideline.
Well, here he's looking for
speed there.
Burns is covered. They saw that play coming. It's the same quick hitch they've been running. And here Graves sees he's got to take off.
And right here,
he outruns Passmore. And I thought for sure Passmore would have him, and he thought he was going to just push him out of bounds. Prior to that, he actually outran Aaron Burton. Burton, I thought, had the angle on him.
Yeah, I did too. I thought he was going to get it for a loss. And Graves turned it on and picks up the first down. Ball at the 35, 2:32 left here in the third quarter, all tied up 13 apiece. Graves on the handoff, off tackle to Mishka. Mishka again trying to turn the corner and does, and picks up the first down and more. Ball finally got out of bounds over the 50-yard line. Looks like they're into Falcon territory.
Got a good downfield block from Ferns, and Ferns was smart enough to know when to stop blocking too.
Let's take a look. This draw has worked real well for them.
Been working well for both teams, but this has been their main big play other than the passes to Ferns. Right about there, you saw Ferns lay off on the block because it was going to become a clip, and just left it up to Mishka to get as much as he could. Finally run out of bounds by Trevor Pace.
Out of bounds at the 47-yard line of the Falcons, so it's 1st and 10 there with 2:24 left here in the third. And it looks like the Red Hawks are on their way again. Mishka with 11 carries and 84 yards.
Looking for another 100-yard game.
On his way. And a whistle down on the field as a flag flies.
Illegal procedure. Oh, delay a game.
So that'll knock him back. And again, we saw penalties on the last drive really hurt the the Red Hawks, and now it's hurting them again.
Last drive, 2 penalties, 22 total yards lost on that, and that really kept them from getting into field goal range, or at least hitting Rochester deep. Rochester able to turn around and mount a substantial drive. Athens now on its way to mounting their own drive, get 1st and 15. Now it'll be interesting to see what they call. Last time it was Graves taking the ball and getting as much as he could. See if they go back to that same plan.
In motion is Uren. Graves to pass deep down the middle of the field and
got a flag
tripped
there.
up.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
Ferns was tripped up as he got tangled down there in the feet with the defender, It looked like he was ready to make his move and go for that ball. Let's take a look.
I mean, I know incidental contact is incidental contact and all, but when you prevent the guy from making the catch, I think you've got to flag it. Let's see, the ball's there. It was Trevor Pace that tripped over Ed Burns, but he prevented his progress from getting to the ball.
And that was catchable, definitely.
Yeah, and I always mention this, it doesn't even have to be catchable, but incidental contact, to me, I don't think you can call incidental contact when the player's there.
But the penalty is going against the Red Hawks at the line of scrimmage. So,
boy, if they lose this game.
So 2 drives, and they've both been hurt. Unsportsmanlike conduct. I think they were arguing that no call.
That makes it second down.
Yeah.
You don't get that down over. Now, and the refs tell him the down guy second down. That's a dead ball foul. Last 2 drives, 47 yards and penalties for Athens.
Yep. And that puts them, where does that put them? Right in the end zone.
Second down.
Get those yards back.
Second down and 30, 35. Yeah. Yeah, the play already happened. The penalties after the ball was dead, so you lose that down. Oh.
Ouch. And there's some squirming going on down there.
Was that Passmore again?
Yeah,
it was.
Let's see.
That's Passmore right there. Nailed him. Watch this. We've called his name a couple times. He's been
great. You could hear the crunch on this. Right there.
Boom, right there.
Yep. Well, Passmore has been there for the big stops. The senior, 6 foot, 204 defensive tackle. And Mark Merlo said those are the guys doing the work for him down there.
He might be listed as a defensive tackle. He's playing linebacker tonight. Linebacker and maybe a stand-up end.
Yeah. 134 and counting down in this one in the third quarter. Got a man wide open. That's Guitar. And as soon as he catches it, he is met right there by number 22, Rob Morgan.
Well, might be something to look for more of. Earlier in the game, he threw a screen pass to Guitar that he made a nice catch on, and there he's wide open. You're not going to get the first down when you've got third down and forever, so you get what you can and you get yourself in decent punting position.
And the big play there by Rob Morgan, the defensive back, senior, and he's one of the key men defensively for Mark Merlo.
And now the guy that just caught that ball's got to punt it.
So Guitar has to punt, and again, penalties kill the Red Hawks on this drive. Low end-over-end kick. McCann gets a nice bounce, but it allows the defense to get right on top of him, and he's not going to go anywhere as he loses a yard, 2. Inside the 25, ball down at about the 24. And the Falcons start at their own 24-yard line. Let's see what happens here. He gets that high bounce, and that allows, just that couple seconds, allows everybody to get on top of him.
No one was able to really get a block made there. That's about all you're going to get out of that, but it's better, I think, to catch it like that rather than let it roll and go an extra 10 yards. And that is a very excited group of Rochester fans.
Just loud down there. A lot of noise because they've got the ball back, and here's Collins.
Collins looking good after that. After he was limping for a while earlier in the quarter, he's looking good now.
Yep. There's Falcon fans trying to get their team fired up down there. Let's take a look as Collins tries to get himself going here on this drive.
That'll be the last play of the quarter.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think they're going to get the line of scrimmage.
They're not even going to try.
Yep. So that'll do it here in the third quarter. We only saw one score, and that was to start the third quarter. It was a 96-yard kickoff return by Kevin McCann. And the extra point was good, and that's where we stand, all tied up at 13-13 here at Rochester High School. Next week, don't forget to tune in as we have one great logo against another great logo as Joe Abramson circles them. And yeah, very, very nice.
It's the old Michigan Panther logo, but now it's the Carolina Panthers.
Two different styles, but yet each one, I think, unique and great in their own respect. That's next week at 8 p.m. right here on TCI 63.
I bet they sell a lot of T-shirts. That's the whole thing with logos nowadays and teams. Cool logo, neat colors, sell a lot of merchandise, make a lot of money.
And a band like that helps.
Band helps.
That band
should make a video, and then Pat could put them on a roadshow video.
I'll tell you, before the national anthem, they played a real nice number, kind of jazzy little tune.
They were. Halftime, they were doing some Chuck Mangione. I know that's before your time.
Chuck Mangione? No, yeah, before my time. Like the Foo Fighters, right?
That's after your time.
Okay. There we go. The band getting things going, and we are ready to start the fourth quarter here at Rochester High School. Murphy handing off to the first man through and breaking through for a big carry. Right there you see Tincher with a big run, picks up the first down, and he's across the 40 to about the 42-yard line.
Murphy helps here. He carries out the fake right there, freezes up one of the ends, and then it's all Tincher getting a lot of blocking from that line. You got Kozineski, Sipa, and all those guys just dominating the line right now. Rich Arch probably realizing, hey, we just mounted a huge drive and then blew it at the end. Just mount another one, and the worst you're going to get is overtime.
Here they come. Collins now. He gets about 4 or 5. Call it 4. It'll be second down, about 6 coming up.
Speaking of which, I don't remember us doing an overtime game. At least when I've been doing it. Maybe there has been, but I know I've never seen one from up here.
Well, you never know.
They're a lot of fun.
You never know. I think we'll get a score here. At least one.
Maybe 2. That's the thing. If we get 2, we get overtime.
Yeah. Collins picks up 4. It'll be second and 6 now. High formation in the backfield. Handoff goes to Tincher. Nothing there as he's hit for a loss of a yard. He loses a yard. It'll be third and about 7 coming up now.
Toko and Fair teaming up. Don't let him get anything. See here, they come in unblocked with a little help also from 74, Aaron Chalker.
So they get in on him that time, and Tincher loses a yard. Third and about 7. And the draw, Collins almost lost it, but look at this. Collins, first down and more, out of bounds at the 35.
Wow. He almost lost it, and he almost got nailed for a loss. Instead, he turns it into a huge gain and a big first down.
Big play for the Falcons.
Take a look here. He doesn't have control of the ball there. Fortunately, the Athens line maintained their block and didn't allow any of the, or I should say the Rochester line maintained their block and didn't allow any Athens players in there to try to strip the ball while he was getting control of it. And then Collins took off downfield for about 20 yards and a first down.
And that draw has been working well for both teams tonight. 2 receivers split up top for the Falcons. Murphy on the handoff to Collins, off tackle. Picks up about 6 yards on that one. So Collins continues to keep the Falcon engines running here, and they just keep grinding it out.
Well, the momentum's there and the confidence is there. You look at that blocking, every one of them. Bo Lytle and Dave Peterson on that one. You got guys pulling, and they rotate some of their linemen too, which is something we mentioned earlier, how they beat Frazier. And Frazier's got 5 big guys, and they stay in all day, and Rochester's got 8 of them, and they're rotating them. You get into the fourth quarter where we are now, they're fresh.
6 plays, 47 yards, 2:30 off the clock so far.
That time Hurst came in at fullback.
And Hurst picks up maybe a couple. Let's see where they mark it. It'll be third and short yardage coming up. Third and about 3. Third and 3 now for the Falcons. This is a must right here.
Well, yeah, this puts them into a, if they don't get it, another one of tough decisions, because the kicker, Dressler, has the leg to make this, but he's been struggling this year.
In there is Hurst, number 15 at fullback. Collins the tailback. They go to Collins. Collins off tackle, not enough for the first down.
You got 4th down and a full yard at least, maybe a yard and a half.
Yeah.
And the scoreboard's going to call it 4th and 2. Now, do you try that field goal again, or do you trust that your line's going to keep pushing them back like they have been and keep this drive going? Right now, it doesn't look like there's much of a decision, except they're taking forever getting that play, and then they're going to have to use another timeout.
Yeah, they're talking about it here, and that time is running out, so they've got to hurry up.
They're being signaled to call timeout by their coaches.
Otherwise, that would have knocked them back even further, and they've got to talk about it now.
Yeah, you knock it back to 4th and 7. You're not going for it, and you're probably out of field goal range.
You're putting a lot more pressure on your kicker if you do. So the clock stopped at 8:23 here in the fourth quarter. All tied up 13-13, and it's a fourth and about 1.5 yards, 2 yards coming up.
Yeah, and I don't think they're even thinking about kicking right now.
No.
I think they're trying to just get the lead.
Here it is, the Mona Lisa and Henry VIII, or Joe calls it the King and the
Mona Bubba.
the King and Queen.
Yeah.
It's a deck of cards right there.
That's what it is,
Now
man.
that's the Roadshow video program, Thursday at 9 p.m.
You had big news, right?
Yeah, I had big news for you. There he is. There's Bubba.
That's Mona Bubba there, right there.
And your Foo Fighters, I guess, are the video came in other words. That's all I'm telling you. You can work things out with Director Pat Collar.
That's
after
huge.
The show.
That's huge.
I don't know if he's going to play it or not. He's got to check it out and go through the censors. There.
I don't think Brad's happy with
he
that
does
Queen
not
stuff.
like that.
No. I don't think he's happy with the picture at all.
Queen was not his favorite group.
No, it wasn't.
And the
they got
first
it.
down picked up by the big fullback, Tincher. So
Go to your horse.
the Falcons come up with the right play at the right time, so they pull the right card, so to speak. And I don't think it was either Pat or Bubba. Let's take a look.
This is just, hey, we're bigger than they are. Let's go up the middle with it.
And they use that sheer strength of that line and the strength of Jason Tincher there to pick up the first down. First and 10, Falcons now on the move, ball at about the 23-yard line. Tincher and Collins in the backfield. They go to the air, they go wide open out there, and a nice move, but they gain a few yards out there. I think that was Battershell out there, Chris Battershell on the reception.
Well, that was, I believe, the 10th play of the drive, and that was their first pass on the whole drive. Everything else had been on the ground.
Hey, more yards than I thought. They pick up about 9 on this.
Well, he
take a
looked
look.
off left, and boy, did they get away with one. Wow. Did you see 83? McCann gets downfield and picks. He flat out blocks before that ball ever gets there. And if you throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage, it's legal right there.
Yep.
Look at that. That's a pick. That's a flat out illegal play. If you throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage, it's legal. That's
blocking downfield.
That's pass interference.
Yeah.
It's just a flat out offensive interference, and they got away with it and keeps the drive going.
And Collins may have the first down. Let's see how close he is on the carry. Nope, he'll be short of it, looks like. A third down and short. Third and about a half a yard to go.
All right, now you should get the first down, you figure. But you want to run it off tackle left just in case you don't, and you do decide to kick. You want a better angle at the goalpost than they have there. That is a nasty angle. Far right hash that close in.
Handoff, Collins.
Nope.
Collins has room. Touchdown.
Now you worry about the extra point.
Collins, 14 yards for the touchdown.
Well, Sip was limping. I don't know what happened to him laying a block out there. Great run by Collins. Got tremendous blocking again from his line. Gets him the lead. Collins, 17 carries, 113 yards. Huge game for the sophomore. And I thought he was going to. This is illegal in college, you know. That's illegal in college. You can't take the helmet off.
You can't get excited.
No, you can't have emotion in college. You're not allowed to have fun.
It's terrible, isn't it?
Oh.
Extra point is up, and it is good.
You know what happens in the NFL now? The Deion rule?
Yeah, you can't do that either.
They take the touchdown away. Now, for last year, it was 15-yard penalty, big deal. Now they take the touchdown away, and you know, from wherever you start high stepping. So when Deion starts at the 40, and high steps to the end zone, well, it goes back 15 yards to his own 45, and they've got the ball still. The no fun league.
Take a look at the touchdown by Collins. Just looking for a yard here.
Yeah, they're following, and I don't blame them. They're following Tincher.
The linebacker overcommitted on the outside. Looked like Chris Fair ran right by Collins. And Collins then saw his way right to the end zone.
If you're concerned to
and
stop him,
he's excited. I'll tell you, this
you're
guy.
going to stop the fullback, and he's been killing you on the short yardage plays. He's the guy to go for, and they overcommit, as you said. He gets in, and that's an excited sophomore. And that's the guy you figure over the next 2 years after this, they're going to build this offense around.
It'll be Dressler to kick off. 3 men deep. for Athens, and there you see one of the up men, and the 3 deep men are behind him. There you go, back in the middle is 35 Ferns, and he'll come up with it. Ferns trying to go to the sideline.
He can get a block.
He's got one block that springs him, and he's finally down at about the 43-yard line.
Oh, and
big return for Athens.
You know, they're going to get on him. You know who tackled him? The kicker.
Kicker got him?
Kicker tackled him.
Uh-oh. Ferns gets it deep.
Never let the kicker tackle you.
And he takes his time getting out.
Right there, he's pointing out. He's pointing out the one block that he needs. Right there, gets through. And here, watch number 2, Dressler, come over. But there.
Finally gets him at the 43-yard line. 1st and 10 now for Athens.
This is only the 3rd time.
Rochester, 12 plays, 76 yards, 6:05 off the clock, 13-yard run by Collins.
A lot of sustained drives this half, too. This is only the 3rd time that Athens has had the ball this half.
Quick pass, dumps it off to Ferns at about the line of scrimmage, and he picks up about 5 or 6. That's not a bad game.
That's a play we've seen a couple times tonight where he goes down, comes back, runs a little hitch underneath. A couple times before he's broken it for 15, 20 yards. It's not a bad play on 1st down, and it makes the defense back off you a little bit. They've got 5.5 minutes left. They've got to get a touchdown and an extra point to get this game into overtime. And the way Rochester's controlled the ball, they had the kick return. They've only had 2 other possessions. One was an 8-play drive that ended with a missed field goal. The other was the touchdown drive that went 12 plays. They're not giving the ball up, and they're not punting, so you've got to figure they've got to score right now.
Sippa comes back in. He was out momentarily, and you got number 40 coming back off the field.
That's Burton, I believe.
Burton.
I think he's either got an equipment problem or an injury.
Yep. 2nd and 5 now for Athens. In motion, Flakem. The handoff to the tailback, Mishka. Mishka trying to cut it outside. He's done it before. Picks up the 1st down and finally brought down at about the 45. So they go into Rochester territory.
Really?
Mishka again.
Well, here,
race outside and does it.
all he has to do here is get past one guy, and he does it there, Charles Passmore. Then he's got to outrun to the corner. He does that. He outruns Morgan. Now you just see what you can get. Morgan catches up with him as he tries to make a cut, but it's after he picks up the 1st down.
Ball at the 45 of Rochester. The Falcons just had a big 6-minute drive to take the lead 20-13, and now Athens coming back.
You don't want to jinx them, but they've been moving the ball all 2nd half, and they've been killing themselves with penalties. That's the big thing right now, and they're going to call a timeout. Make sure this is it. I think they realize this is the only drive they're going to get. If they're going to tie it, it's going to be now.
Johnny Walker gets his Red Hawks on the sideline to talk to him on this big offensive drive. And like Joe said, the past 2 drives have just been killing him with penalties, over 47 yards at one point.
Yep.
And I think they had more after that.
Well, yeah, then they got the unsportsmanlike. They are, they're moving the ball, and then they're killing themselves. Right now, they've got some momentum. They've got to keep it going. If you look at, well, it's not the Foo Fighters,
it's
but
a wild man. That's just a wild man on the side.
Oh, I think he's trying to get a guest spot on Roadshow video.
There you see Mark Merlot, head coach of the Falcons, right in the middle of that huddle and trying to get his defense fired up now. Big stop is what he needs right here. 4:50 left in the game.
Well,
and Rochester leads 20-13.
You see their cheerleaders trying to get this huge crowd going. Probably one of the things that Merlot's telling those guys is our size just got us a touchdown on that drive. Now the size should keep these guys out. They're still bigger than they are, and there's more of you. As we said before, he rotates these guys, and Michigan's getting closer to that 100-yard mark. They've got to kind of get it together right now and decide to have one last stand defensively.
Scott Brent in motion. Goes up top. He's looking for Ferns. Ferns cuts across. He's got him. Ferns to the 40, to the 20 rather. He got him at the 30, and just as I said that, he was already inside the 20 and down around the 10-yard line. He's down at the 12.
Everything to Ferns has either been quick hitches or underneath patterns right through the zone. And this one, last time we saw it coming underneath towards us, this one's going away from us a little farther downfield, and he's able to get through the zone and pick up a lot of yards.
I'll tell you what, I was cheating, Joe. I kind of kept an eye on Ferns as he came down here. I knew that he would go to him, and that, sure enough, that's where he went.
Funny thing is, I think Rochester knew they'd go to him, and he's still getting open.
Claycomb in motion. Back to pass again. Graves looks into the end zone.
Did he catch that?
No, it hit the ground. They're calling it down in the ground.
Claycomb.
And that was Claycomb. Let's take a look.
Let's take a look. This throw's behind him, and for a second it looked like it might get picked off because they've got a defensive back playing center field back there. And this is, well, yeah, I think that got knocked out.
Through the hands,
it's through,
and there it is.
And number 9,
Good shot down.
Battershell knocked it out. That's not a drop. That's a defensive play. He knocked it out of his hands.
Good defense down there by Battershell. There's Ed Ferns, 92 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns, and only 6 receptions.
Only 6.
Only 6, that's all. Hard day for him. I'll tell you, he's had a great night.
Run.
They've gone to him. He's going to run, Joe. Breaks loose. Graves takes it himself. Touchdown.
He had that was so open to at least get 5 or 6 yards, and you don't want a sack. And we've already seen him take that play before, take it to the outside and get 10 or 11 yards. That's all he needed to do. And we're an extra point away from a tie game. Take a look here. He sees no one open, takes it up the middle, and then cuts outside, breaks 1 tackle right there. Now it's all speed.
And that is the first rushing touchdown for Athens this evening.
But this guy's been involved in every touchdown.
Yeah, he sure has. He's thrown them.
It's 1 for 2, run for 1, and now the pressure's really on.
Extra point is up.
Oh.
It is no good.
Oh.
A big break for the Rochester Falcons.
Well, that's twice that's happened. That's tough.
The Falcons dodge a bullet. Let's take a look.
See, the kick's there, and it's wide right.
Yep.
How bad?
See it right there
barely.
on the other side.
Barely wide right. Wow.
The extra point is no good, and it's 20-19 in favor of the Falcons.
Now 4:07 left.
Onside kick. What do you think they're talking about?
That's what I think. 'Cause, you know, I know 4:07's a lot of time, but you haven't stopped Rochester all half. And I don't know that I want to count on getting the ball back with a minute left. I think maybe you go for it here. You either get it or you don't. But I don't see, barring a turnover, how these guys are going to stop Rochester's offense. Those guys are big, and the momentum's on their side. Of course, that said, you know, I've seen stranger things happen.
And you got this guy out there.
You got Collins and you got McCann deep, but they've got a hands team up front. They're not going to try to return anything. This is just to recover an onside kick.
Okay, look for the onside kick. I don't think McCann's going to touch it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Well, even if he does, I don't think there's much returning because he won't have any blocking back there.
Yeah, it'll be Graves to kick. Graves, onside kick. It's a high
That's
kick.
an interesting.
It's up for grabs, and they call a fair catch.
Wait a minute. That
Hold on.
whistle blew before he caught it.
Yeah, let's see what they got
You can
here.
fair catch that. That's legal, but
Everybody on that line was waving fair catch. And it looks like a penalty.
must have been offside. Somebody must have run too fast. But that's the one thing, you know, I thought, you see what they're trying to do is pooch it over that line. There is, I don't know if we'll get a wide shot, but there is a huge space between the 2 deep men and the 2 lines of players they've got.
Great kick.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you can kick it 5 yards farther, that might fall into a vast area of nothingness, just 10 yards of field. If you've got somebody with some speed, you can go down there and get it.
The drive for Athens, 5 plays, 57 yards, 2:19 off the clock, 12 yards on the run by Graves. And Graves right now putting on his kicking helmet right now for those duties. Let's see what happens. They move the ball back. What are they doing here? Now they're going to put it back up to the 40. What are they going to do?
Huh?
Let's see. They're pointing to the 40.
I don't get it.
Well,
Explain the rules to me. I don't understand.
they've got control down there, so we'll just
Yeah.
not speculate on what's going on down there.
Whatever, it's another kick, and he's definitely lined up for an onside attempt.
There it is. Now a swift kick. And covered down there at the 45-yard line.
That's Jason Mucha, 84.
So one of the receivers.
Watch it. He comes up fast. This prevents all the scrambling in the world. Just come right up on it. It comes to you. Fall down. And really, that's not a bad decision because you haven't really been able to stop them. And the fact is, the last time you kicked off deep to these guys, they ran it back for a touchdown anyway. Yep. So you might as well let your defense see what they can do and hold them and try to come back.
Let's see, do they have any timeouts?
They've got one or two, yeah. Well, there's a good start.
There's a run. They stop them. In fact, it's a loss of a yard or two for the Falcons.
And we got an injured player on the field, too. And, not to get too far ahead of ourselves because this is a lot of speculation, but if Rochester were to score a touchdown, take an 8-point lead, that doesn't end the game because of the 2-point conversion.
Right.
Big thing right now, though, for Athens is really they've got to stop and get the ball back.
Try to get that number for you down on the field. Looks like 64. It is 64 for Rochester, and that is Korzaneski. Steve Korzaneski able to walk off. Good sign, but you can tell he's hurting. Tough battle here tonight at Rochester High School. 1-point game, 20-19. And Korzaneski's not doing too well.
Yeah, that looks painful.
Moving his ankle down, so it looks like another ankle or knee. Not looking that good. 2nd down and 11. Pitch goes back to Collins. Collins trying to cut up, but he won't do it.
Oh, they almost threw him out of bounds.
Big break for the Red Hawks as Eric Lidke got out there.
I got to give Athens defense a lot of credit. I, honest to God, didn't think they had a shot of stopping these guys on this drive.
They've got time.
They've picked it up right here.
Yep.
You almost threw him. Again, that's the sideline. Throw him out of bounds and you get clock stopped. But as it is, 2:55 clock running and 3rd and long.
If they do have any timeouts, there is Korzaneski on the sideline. Being tended to. 2:43 and counting down in this one. Collins on the draw. Big break for the Falcons. Do they stop him? Yes, they do.
Got him out of bounds on the flag. Flag on the play.
Flag on the play. They do get him out of bounds.
All right, now, if you're Athens, I think you take the penalty and make them run it again, even though the clock runs. You got to remember.
Holding on the offense.
Send them back. Make them do it again. Hope that you can make them punt from farther back in their own territory. Remember, after their first touchdown, they snapped the ball over the holder's head.
Looks like there was.
Oh, it might be right there, too.
It is, yep.
Right
there, you see the jersey being pulled.
And it was a key with the flag right after it.
Yeah.
Remember on their first extra point, the snap went over the holder's head. They've had a bad snap on special teams already.
There you see Dana Murphy looking in.
I don't think there's going to be any passing here.
The Falcons with a slim 1-point lead. They need something right here. They need something big. 3rd and 25.
And they've got a different running back in the backfield this time. They've got number 16, Steve Kim. Now they're throwing. Oh,
the screen to Kim. Kim has some room to run. And finally brought down at the original line of scrimmage to the 45. Clock still running.
Now I think you got to use the timeout if you're Athens, and they do.
Yeah, they do.
Well, hindsight's 20/20. As it turns out, it wasn't smart to take the penalty because you're at the same spot you would have been in the clock. You had to use a timeout, and you took time off the clock, but I really thought it was a good idea.
You never know what can happen.
Well, I think, when you're in the state, you're desperate. You've got to gamble, and that was a gamble that kind of didn't pay off. Steve Kim, a senior, 5'7", 160 pounds. I don't think he's seen the field until that play, and he almost broke a long one. He did break a long one long enough to get him into better position as far as getting the punt on.
So Kim comes in, some fresh legs. Next week, it'll be the Centerline Panthers taking on the Avondale Yellow Jackets. Big rivalry there, Saturday and Monday at 8 p.m. right here on TCI 63.
You got Ed Granchi back to punt. Have we seen these guys punt yet tonight?
I don't think so.
You got Ferns back to receive.
So the Falcons to punt.
Good kick.
Kick stays inbounds. No, finally goes out of bounds at about the 23. so a long way to go for Athens with 2:09 left on the clock.
But it went out of bounds, which is huge. It saves them an extra timeout, allows them to get their offense together before they start. Now they move the spot up to
They
the
move
26.
it up to the 26 now, yeah.
But still, it's a long way to go. Got to figure and throw to Ferns a couple times.
John Walker knows what's ahead of him. Ball at the 26, long way to go. But surprisingly, Graves has gone to the air quite a bit tonight.
He's done a good job.
Yep.
He's done a good job on the ground, too.
Yeah, good balanced attack for both teams this evening. In motion goes Claycomb. Graves takes the handoff, and now the first option that we've seen, the first true option, takes it himself for a 5-yard gain. But that's going to eat up some clock now, as it'll be second and about 5.
Well, Aaron Topinka with the tackle, but right now I think they're going to just run their offense as regular as they can for a little while. That last drive they had, I think, only took off about 250 or around 3, so it's not that big a difference. You just make a point when you're close to the sidelines to get the ball out of bounds. But another 30 seconds or so, they're going to have to start throwing the ball.
Yep. We're down to 135. You see it there. Graves back to pass. Has some time. Has plenty of time. Now tries to scramble and get somebody, and he's going to run it himself to pick up the first down.
Face
really
mask.
get there. No face
He got
mask
out of
call,
bounds.
but he got the first down.
No, he didn't.
He didn't get out of bounds. Still going to run the clock.
Now, it is a first down, so the clock will stop to move the chains. Or will it? That's a tough spot.
Now they're going to stop the clock. Wait a second.
Well,
Clock stopped at 1 minute. They're going to bring the chains over.
I'll tell you what's tough about
Let's
this
take a
for
look.
Athens is you take a look right here. Oh, he's got his face mask right there. Then he gets away. He, at this point, he's tackled.
How can he,
There's a-
how can he not be knocked out of
I don't
bounds?
know.
He's sitting right
I'll
there.
tell you what else is tough is that this happened with a minute 10 left, and there's a minute left. It took 10 seconds for the officials to decide to stop the clock
Yeah.
and call for a measurement.
Yeah, that hurt. Ready. To me, anything close. They got the first down. Okay. Anything close, the ref should have just stopped
Yeah,
the clock
yeah.
to get the official measurement.
You know, they've run 2 plays and taken a minute and 17 seconds off the clock. That's not working too well. I mean, I understood running it, but I thought they'd move a little better. Now they're in a huddle again. They can't be doing this.
Yeah, they should be up at the line right now.
They've got to move. I think he's a little upset too. He wants, well,
Now the other ref's calling a timeout.
now the officials are going to
Walker
talk to
looks
each
over.
other.
Walker had said something.
I think they might be talking about how much time should be on the clock as well.
Yeah. They might want to put some time back on. Let's see. And I think that's what Walker was talking
They're all
to.
discussing it. You get the refs together for something like this. That's probably what they're talking about is the clock.
Isn't there a judge? Yeah, that's what they're going to do.
They're going to come over, talk to the Rochester coaches, tell them to send a message up to the booth. Yep.
Hold on.
They're backing them up to the
Yeah.
huddle.
Yeah, they're going to
Athens-
talk to Mark Merlo now about the clock, I think. 10 seconds, I think.
It was. That's what I saw when you got tackled. Was 110.
Stay with your man.
Here we go, yeah.
You gotta break out of ball.
Yep, 10 seconds. They want 10 seconds back on the clock, and that's the right call.
It was. There was. I looked real quickly at the clock when that play ended, and it was 110.
That's the right
That's right.
call by the officials down on the field. There was too much confusion
Yeah.
going on down there, and by the time they figured it out, 10 seconds had ticked off.
That's the right call. And now they're still in a huddle. Oh, they should be up there ready to go because
Yeah.
that clock's running.
Now the clock's running, so that 10 seconds doesn't
We
make
just lost it.
Just lost it. Here we go. Graves back to pass. Getting pressure a little bit.
He's got to go deep.
He unloads. Just as he unloads, he gets hit, and it's intercepted.
No, it's not. It's knocked down. They're saying he didn't catch it. The ref signaled incomplete. Battershell had it. Now he dropped it, but
That time it was number 9.
it
Let's
was.
take a look.
Battershell, and they're going for Claycomb. He's looking downfield. He has to buy some time with the
And
scramble.
watch, just as he releases, he gets rocked by who?
Passmore.
Passmore. Right there as he
Out.
released.
Let's take a look, see if this ball gets dropped. Yep, he does.
There it is. We got the shots for you tonight, folks.
The only good thing for Athens is the clock does stop, but now they're down to 47 seconds.
Second down and 10. And a long way to go for the Red Hawks. Falcons defense trying to stop them, and that time almost intercepted.
Oh, I don't like that throw. I mean, that's a great throw if you make it, but
that time it was Handley down there.
Boy, and that was just...
He's trying to force something there.
All he's looking at is
coverage.
All he looked at there was Ferns. He didn't look for anybody else. And he had, I think, a better shot anyway going to Uren a little deeper. I don't like that thrown over the middle like that, especially on a short play. Even if he catches it, you're maybe 10 yards.
Clock stop with 41 seconds left in this one. 20-19.
Well, I think right here, maybe you run a 10-yard out, catch it, and make sure you get out of bounds. You got to get the first down to get yourself 4 more plays unless you're going to score right now.
Graves back to pass.
There he goes right here.
Pressure put on and brought down.
Clock still going.
By number 73, here in Topeka.
And now they're going to call a timeout. 27 seconds left. And I don't know how this play is designed or what the options are here, but at this point, you look at 33 with Michigan coming out. He's open. You turn and throw a quick out to your back. Probably has the first down, and he can tiptoe the sidelines and get as much as he can and then step out at the last second. Instead, he's running to his opposite side, which means he's got to turn to even try to make a throw, and he can't do it. And that guy, Aaron Topinka, makes the sack.
I think.
Oh, no, they're sophomores. This is sophomores? These guys are going to be good next year.
And a big guy, too. I'll tell you what, you look back now, it's easy to look back, but I think some short option passes would have worked out better for Graves. He can run. He can either run the ball or throw it, and he does well when he's rolling out. Next week, it'll be the Centerline Panthers again, taking on the Avondale Yellow Jackets. Don't forget that one, Saturday and Monday, right here on TCI 63. Mark Merlo, his defense, has done a great job in stopping the Red Hawks right here, and he'll come up with a slim victory here. 27 seconds left. You never know what can happen. Remember last week.
I was going to say, don't. This is about the time it was when saw a tipped ball.
4th and 15, but they want to go deep.
Got Ferns.
He's got him. Ferns. First down inside.
And the clock will stop.
Territory. Clock stops until they get the chains over there, and they can just take it now and just snap it and throw it down. 18 seconds left on the clock.
That's what they're going to do, I'm sure, unless they had a play called in the huddle. Actually, I would bet they had a play called in the huddle because it's 4th down. And what the heck?
Here we go.
Yeah, they got a play called. You're not spiking after all this talk, all that. This will be the last play unless it's short. Oh.
Over, and that one is definitely intercepted.
Yeah.
And the Rochester Falcons come up with a big victory after the interception by Battershell.
This time he does get it, and that was the only guy that had a chance to catch it right to him. And 4 seconds left, and they won't even have to snap the ball.
Take a look.
They'll just set it down. And that's it. Here it comes. And he's looking for Ferns, and that's into quadruple coverage.
Might have been better if he just took it and threw it down.
Let your offense kind of gain their composure and set up for that last play. Hindsight's 20/20, but now they don't even snap the ball. Set the ball down, let the clock go. And that's the ball game.
The clock runs out on Rochester Adams, the Troy Athens Red Hawks. I'm thinking back to last week. Mark Merlo comes up with a big victory here for the Falcons. And as he goes to shake hands with John Walker. And what a great game, 20-19. 2 weeks in a row, Joe, we've done it.
Yeah, this is, and really, you think about the week before that, the first week, well, it wasn't a close game, but we saw the best team in the state, so we're 3 for 3. So no pressure on Avondale or Centerline for next week.
John Walker, tough loss for him. And you see the 2 teams meeting on the field. A slim victory for the Falcons, but they'll take it. And they battled back and forth in this one. The Red Hawks 19, the Rochester Falcons 20. And we'll be back to wrap it up from Rochester High School right after these messages. Stay with us.
If you wish a video cassette of TCI Sports, the cost is $25.
Send a check payable to TCI, along with your name, address, and the names of the teams that played in the game, to TCI Sports Videotapes, 4500 Delamere Boulevard, Royal Oak, Michigan, 48073. Remember to tell us which game you wish to receive. And thank you for watching TCI Sports. Oakland Press Perspective with Neil Monroe is an informative talk show that discusses issues often overlooked by broadcast stations. Neil Monroe, the editor of the Oakland Press newspaper, will keep you abreast on hot topics, events, and issues taking place in Oakland County. So for news you can use, join Neil Monroe every week on the Oakland Press Perspective, Friday night at 8:30 on TCI 63. The final score here at Rochester High School, the Athens Redhawks 19, and the Rochester Falcons here at home coming up with a big victory 20. And let's come up with that big scoring summary for you. A lot of scoring here, surprisingly. This was after the first touchdown by Athens. It was 6-0, and then Rochester answered with this one. Murphy to Battershell for 48 yards, and this connection.
And that ties it up after Ferns had caught the short pass from Graves, and ironically each team had missed the extra point, so it made it a 6-6 game.
And then with 1:03 left in the first half, Graves finds Ferns again with a 17-yard pass, and look at Ferns go up for this one.
Yeah, this ball is underthrown, and he comes and steals it from the defender, and that's his second touchdown. Pretty big game Ferns had tonight.
Then with 11:48, correction, this is in the fourth quarter. It was 11:48, just starting the second half. It was a kickoff return, but then Collins takes this 14-yard run to make it 20-13 with the extra point being good.
13-13, a 96-yard kick return by McCann.
Yeah.
You have to mention that.
Yeah, before that one. Then finally, this touchdown, 12 yards. J.D. Graves takes it himself on this 12-yard scramble.
A little Steve Young there. Some scrambling, getting in the end zone.
And the extra point, unfortunately, Graves kicking.
Wide right.
And wide right. Graves, this is just terrible for him. He's just done everything for this team.
Yeah, you don't want to say one guy carried a team, but that's...
J.D. Graves.
That's close.
Did a great job tonight, so it's so sad for him that it came down to that. But that was it. 20-19, the final score. Take a look at this. Really, Athens doing a fine job. A balanced offense, 130 passing, 152, 282 total. Rochester, 82 yards passing, 146 yards rushing.
Yeah, what's not there is 96 yards on one kick return. That makes a huge difference. That passing yardage, by the way, Ferns, 7 catches, 117 yards. He was the main man on that.
Yeah, first downs pretty much even. Turnovers, 1 and 2.
Yeah, and that one was the last play of the game.
Yeah, but penalties really killed Athens.
Penalties killed him, and time of possession was a problem in the second half, because even with that kick return, when Rochester got the ball, they mounted drives all the time. Even if they didn't score, they just kept taking time off the clock. And again, the penalties killed Athens.
So there's your final stats for you. Next week, tune in. We'll have Centerline, the Panthers, and Joe really likes that logo. We'll see what they what those uniforms look like. And the Avondale Yellow Jackets. Always an exciting game out there at Avondale. Tune in for that one Saturday and Monday at 8 p.m. The final score here at Rochester High School, the Athens Redhawks 19, the Rochester Falcons 20. And for all of our staff here at the Rochester High School, the TCI staff, and for Joe Abramson, I'm Dave Zorin. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week from Avondale.